Oh, hey, Alice. Fancy seeing you here. You walked in at a good time. We have, again, the great and powerful Sydney Mays co-hosting.
Powerful.
And before we announce our guests, you have some shows coming up.
I do.
That would be the 8th and the 10th of November.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing at Dark Matter on the 8th with, who'd that be?
Underdog.
Oh, Underdog, I'm sorry.
You're good. That's with Cody Parsons and Baked Shrimp.
Nice.
Small world.
Turn back.
Old Bubba.
And then on the 10th, you're playing at Springwater with Cassette Stress and Lucid Furs out of Chicago, I believe.
I think that's right, yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for co-hosting.
Well, thanks for having me, dude.
And then also joining us this evening, we have the Spirit Ritual crowd, the squad, I'll say.
Howdy.
Yeah. Can you guys? Can you guys introduce yourself? This is Alice. This is the Mad Tea Party. So Alice just walked in. That
What's
creepy
up?
little camera is just a creepy little girl. So
Oh, God.
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
just feel her staring.
All right. I'm gonna have to drop on my acting class experience for this. All right.
I'll start, I guess.
Yeah.
My name is Connor. I'm a certified goofball, and I drum with these goons.
I can verify that you are a goofball and also a drummer.
I have my certificate.
Hey, I'm Hunter, guitar player for Spirit Ritual. Yeah. It is what it is.
My name's Ian. I'm the keyboard player for Spirit Ritual.
And I'm Jeff. I sing and play, switch off with bass and guitar. So
And
thanks for having us.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you guys have a show coming, a festival you're throwing.
Yeah.
Is Spirit Ritual on that bill?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's at East Room?
Yeah.
Correct.
October 27th. It's a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
2023.
Ghost Fest.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
That's exciting. Who else is on that?
Oh, we have Winton Existing, who was shredding at
they're so
Possum
good.
Stock with us.
I
those
love
are just
Winton.
all around awesome dudes. All of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Willa
For sure.
May, she's amazing. We've played a show with her in Knoxville last April, right? Nope, last February.
I think we played.
2022.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's great. And let's see, Chan. Her name's Chandler Booth. Her music's called Chan. She's really talented too. We have Frogma. That's Cole Harper, and he's kind of helping me like run the festival a little bit.
Right on.
So he's a homie.
Cole's cool.
You
And
can
then-
you can obviously tell who does the booking. We're all just sitting here, just like
It's like,
Yes.
yeah, that's great.
yes, of course.
And then
Okay.
Palomino. We got Palomino. They're
I
awesome.
mean, that was really cool.
Yeah, Palm
Yeah.
sick.
The last time they played at our place, the Twisted Tea Garden, they played a Men I Trust cover and they did a Tame Impala cover.
Ooh.
Nice.
So they won my hearts over.
Didn't
He's
they do a
huge
Little
cover.
Dragon cover too?
I was just about to say, they did a Little Dragon cover that was so
They
good.
They did an
Ritual
Erica
Union.
Badu cover. Erica Badu cover as well.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
they did The Less I Know the Better.
And it was so good. Yeah.
They did a Ritual Union by Little Dragon, and they did Didn't You Know by Erica Badu.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that was at the
Amazing.
basement.
Yeah.
So-
And headliner is Huron John.
Nice. That's a stacked bill, man.
Yeah, 7 bands.
So in addition to making good music, you guys also do a lot for the scene. You guys host Twisted Tea Garden, which is a local house venue here. Really badass spot. It's like it's probably my favorite, I'd say. Like, it's such a like it's got such a vibe to it.
Hell yeah.
It's an atmosphere.
Yeah, we kind of try to shoot for like the Alice in Wonderland vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
We- but like we don't really accomplish it very well. If we had
Same.
more plans
It's
and
same.
more
If-
twisted
Dude,
things.
give me a loan. Give me
Yeah,
a loan,
right.
we'll make it. But money. You gotta take capital as it comes, and invest when you can. So,
Put it
Yeah.
like on the table.
but we definitely
Sure.
have like.
I love the
massive-
ceiling on the roof in your kitchen.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like
thanks.
the
Right.
coolest thing.
High
Yeah.
ceiling, and then
Yeah.
Jeff hung up that
Yeah.
Christmas tree upside down.
In the
It
mirror.
just never left.
Oh, shit.
Sick.
One of my
Yeah.
favorite things.
Yeah, so you guys run a house venue, and then you're throwing festival. Is this the first Ghost Fest?
This is the third.
Third Ghost Fest.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So we do a different location every year. The first one was Cafe Coco in 2021. Yeah. And then last year was at the Tea Garden.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
That was like one of our biggest shows, I'd say.
Yeah,
Since,
Yeah.
like, 9
I'd say
bands
that's
on that bill.
I think there's
Yeah.
like 150 people there at all times for 8 hours.
No.
Yeah, there was a food.
There were
vendor.
like 110 total throughout the whole day.
Felt like a lot.
yeah. When you're just
Don't
around,
blow it up like that.
when you're like 100 plus, like you kind of in our house. I mean, obviously the people listening to this can't, maybe we could do like a visualization of it, but it's a lot. We have a nice sized house. It's like a ranch style, so there's a lot of room out in front and out in back, which is really cool to wake up like on a Sunday morning and you got your little mug, coming
Yeah.
out there.
Got a little sunroom in the back,
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
nice. We
that's
need a ping
awesome.
pong table. That's the only thing we're missing. But other than that, it's a
Yeah.
great spot to have
It is.
shows. Yeah.
Dude,
It
we
is.
will slip into depravity if we have a fucking ping pong. I'm not saying I won't do it. I'm not saying I won't do it.
Fuck it, my birthday's
Or
coming
air
up.
hockey.
Ooh, that'd be a lot more
I
expensive.
love air
but ooh,
hockey.
I love air
Expensive,
hockey.
but I like where your brain's at.
Yep.
Yeah, man. What you got for us next, Mr. Alex?
Oh, yeah. So, I saw you guys for the first time at Dark Matter with Eve's Curse and Siren.
Mhm.
And you guys really, you do a lot of jamming, like just jamming out. And I think that's
Yeah.
really cool the way, like Sydney and I were talking about this the other day actually. Like you can really tell when a band is not having a good time, and you can really fucking tell that you guys just enjoy playing with each other, just playing music in general. It's like, I think some artists, this is lost on them, like where they don't know that like people can tell you're just up there to not have a good time,
Yeah.
like for ulterior reasons. And like, now you guys are just a great show to see.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Spirit Ritual, definitely check them out. When is Ghost Fest? I forgot to ask that.
Yeah, Friday, October 27th.
You did say
on
that.
the weekend, so I'm stoked. We have a lot of vendors too, so.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. East Room's a good spot.
Yes.
I may or may not be throwing a festival there on my birthday.
Ooh.
When's your birthday?
Nice.
April 4th.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It's there or somewhere else. So.
Word.
April the
Words.
4th be with you.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, let's go.
And the 4th be with you, dude. I love Star Trek.
Dude, J.R. Tolkien's my favorite playwright.
Dude, George R.R. Martin's a treasure.
But enough about Harry Potter. Where are you guys from?
Oh man, originally I'm from Memphis.
Okay.
Yeah, at first when I wanted to play with these goons, I wasn't even living here, so I like drove 3 hours and practiced every day and learned these guys' EP and just fucking was like, because I've never played in a band before until these guys, but I just really like to play.
No way.
Never.
Dude, I mean, you got chops. That's awesome.
Thanks.
And that's so cool that you're driving from Memphis to Nashville to practice and learn these songs.
And now I live here. Now I live with these guys at the Tea Garden. So
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
it was just meant to be, man. It's just a good time.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Connor's been with us since June of last year.
I believe
So, like-
it was either late June or early July of last year.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been a year, man.
Yeah, we've been shredding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unless you told me, I would have thought you guys like all grew up together and were just jamming out. Like you mesh very well.
Oh no,
Thank
man!
you.
I like these guys welcomed me in like an orphan child. I'm an amateur. I've been drumming for like I think 3 years now. But these guys are also experienced that I just threw myself in. Was like, if I love it enough, I'll catch up. And I feel like, you said I got chops. I feel like I'm more of a pocket player, but it's that feeling. Like you mentioned earlier, like seeing people that have fun. Like I
Yeah.
genuinely do have fun when I play. That's why I do it.
Clearly, you guys love doing what you do.
So that
Yeah.
to me speaks like, speaks volumes over somebody that's been playing but has lost the reason to play.
Sure.
So
For
Yeah.
sure.
A lot of drummers I've ever, like 90% of the time when I'm watching a drummer play, he's very like focused and very. But like
So many-
I look
yeah.
back and Connor's like cheesing the
Oh
whole
my
time.
God.
It amps me up. I love that shit.
I know so many people from like, and not to knock them at all, but like from like out of state, like LA, and like Florida, come into town to like cut their teeth, and I'm like, this is the hardest place to make it in music, not the easiest, because it's so, like you can come from LA with a dream, but some kid from the sticks in Perry County can play circles around you.
Yeah.
Like this is all. When the first time I had Sydney on the show, I was like, so what do you do when you're not, playing music? And he's like, dude, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I play guitar. Like, I play guitar. That's what I do.
Yeah, eating or something.
So how long have you guys been playing together?
Probably for so it started off with Ian and I originally, and then we met Jeff. I think Ian actually met Jeff first.
Yeah.
And then Connor came into the frame a little bit later, and kind of completed, the whole puzzle piece. But it's actually kind of funny, just to go off topic really quick, the person that Connor came here for was our old drummer. His name was Skylar Rippey, and he has music that you should check out. He's got a full live album called Wait Until Marriage. It's really, really good. Check it out. If you just like some raw, angsty music, you'll like it.
Yeah, Sky drummed with us for about a year and a half, like 2021 and into 22.
It's kind of like he was like, like a temp. He was there and then he wasn't. But when he was there, he was there. When he was there, he was locked in and there. But he definitely had to go and do his own thing at the same time.
Yeah.
You got to respect that when a person has to.
Sure.
Being the maker of your own destiny, like you just gotta let that person do their thing. You know? You don't want to be too restrictive.
Yeah, I think this is more of its own rabbit hole, but like everything in life is temporary. Like every relationship, like whether you're together like a week or 50 years, like that's still temporary. Like,
right.
And you just gotta enjoy the moment. Like,
51st dates.
Yeah, but you guys, you and Hunter have been playing together a long time then.
Yeah, like we had a different band, Midnight Trust. Then the singer of that group, he got busy, and so we asked Jeff if he wanted to take the guy's place. And so we still played under the name Midnight Trust, with a very different sound. And we changed our name to Spirit Ritual in January of 2022.
Yeah. And when I joined, it was like, early 2020, mid 2020?
I guess mid 2020.
Mid 2020.
Yeah, in
It was
the
mid
depths
2020.
of the pandy.
Pandemic.
That's such a cute way.
Yeah, that's like a way of bringing up the pandemic that doesn't bring up like flashbacks for everyone.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Jeff
Cheers
played
to
his
the
debut
band.
show with us during a live stream performance with a couple other bands on Twitch. And that was the first performance we played with Jeff.
Holy shit, I forgot we even did
Yeah,
that.
back when people did those like Instagram live
Yeah.
shows.
Like
That's
the
awesome.
quarantine sessions,
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah.
That was a weird era for.
It was.
Yeah. Did you guys do a lot of writing in that time, or?
It was a lot of jamming for us. I mean,
a lot of formulation.
Yeah, I got
Say
you.
that. It was like writing kind of came later. Like a lot of formulation though. Go on.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, we wrote with the old singer during that time, like, finished up the songs that some are on SoundCloud, and then jammed. I think we wrote in 2020 and released it in 2021.
Yeah, we spent about like a year and a half just formulating and just playing together and figuring out like, okay, what's our sound, what's our style, and that was back when we were still Midnight Trust, when we went by that name, and then we put out our EP like 2 months after we changed our name to Spirit Ritual, and that EP is we really only play like 3 songs from it once in a while.
Yeah.
Now we have so many new songs that we're just like over time just gradually trying to record and compile an album. So
Not only that, but we're just like, compared to the EP that I came and like and learned and have been playing with y'all, like our new stuff is like just trying to go beyond that. Like half of it is Jeff's wordplay and us playing around with that, which is fun, and then the other half is us just talking about shit that happened or shit that we've just like kind of thought about.
Yeah.
Like
Ideas and real life events. We have a single coming out called Drive Safe that's it's about a very personal event.
well,
And-
we're not gonna put that out as a single though.
Oh, okay. Mark that from the record.
That'll be
Mark it.
The album closer.
The album closer, right?
I'd like to have that stricken from the record.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have a typewriter that you can make like a sound real quick?
we
No.
were recording.
Oh shit.
Let me check my. No.
Fuck. Well,
Yeah.
it's okay. We love you anyways, Alex.
I'll get one. I'll get a typewriter just for you.
Sick.
Oh god, I'm recovering from a respiratory thing. People like turn down the treble if it's too much at some point. I'm really sorry.
Told my wife Michelle, I'm all about that bass. No trouble.
No, let me be clear.
Wow.
Oh, that's good. I do that. That's a reoccurring thing. I'm gonna have to add that to my repertoire.
Oh, bro, for us
Let me
too.
be clear. Oh, really?
Yeah, I know, for us too.
Oh man, we're gonna be best friends.
Yeah, I know already, man. As soon as you said you watched Smiling Friends, I was like, alright, I fuck with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just had Big Jed's Big Rigs on,
Oh.
and that's something me and that I bonded with. Fuck.
Hell yeah.
I hope he doesn't watch this.
When?
No, not Winton. Those guys, I bonded with them over that
Whoa.
too. They're also big Smiling Friends people.
Bro, Zach Hadel and
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah,
Michael Cusack.
Mr. Frog.
Oh yeah. But I'm not sorry. Hello. But
Yeah,
that's-
Michael Cusack too is awesome.
Yeah, but that's a rabbit hole for.
But go watch it. Go
Yeah.
watch the show. What's the show called again?
It's called Smiling Friends, man. It is honestly a turning point in animation and comedy. Those dudes have been making YouTube videos for so many years, and it's just cool to see some.
You guys need a bomb explosion after that.
I didn't
one.
know it started off
one of
as
the
YouTube.
biggest-
Oh yeah, they've been doing YouTube under Psychic Pebbles and Oni and G for a
Yeah.
long time, and just really like crude humor, but excellent composers also
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
animators. But I
Yeah.
just have mad respect for that because I used to be so into like sound design, and I made electronic music for a long time before I went analog, if you will. So mad respect.
So tangent number 37. There's impermanence in all things.
Yeah,
Every
there is.
conversation we have is.
It's all fleeting, man. The future and the past don't exist.
It's
Like
now,
that's
dude.
conceptual.
It's
like
now.
it's just here. That's
projections
it.
and remembrances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
always the present.
Yeah, and like I alternate between living in the past and like what was and focusing on the future, and I have
Oh,
a
don't
hard
we
time
all?
like
Yeah.
Ram Dass be here now. Like that's a
Yeah.
hard thing for me to. I struggle with that.
I think the
Um,
best of us in that regard is Jeff. Jeff's always laser focused on.
well,
the
that's
task.
something great about music is like jamming,
Oh, yeah.
especially is like you have to be here.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
I'm
why
not-
I love it.
I'm
man.
not even a musician, right? But it's like if I'm in the audience and I'm watching that, I'm present. Like I'm
That's,
here.
that's what gives music the juice. I mean, you take the music itself, and like you take someone like Stevie Wonder. When you see him like jiving up there on stage, I mean, he's nowhere else but there. Like he
Right.
wants to be nowhere else but. Stevie, I'm not talking for you, man. Okay, I'm not talking for you, but
He's not thinking like, "Fuck, I got a parking ticket." He's like, "Oh, I'm fucking
Yeah.
shredded."
yeah,
Yeah.
and he's like a beautiful exemplar of like what music is and like what its highest peak could be. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like pure presence.
It's it's the zone. Like getting
Yeah,
in the zone.
Straight up.
Like
Yeah.
like that zone is it's like what athletes tap into. Like when they're like the world's best like track and field runners is like they tap into something that is like if like you're thinking but not in like I'm talking to myself like inner monologue.
Right. It's
It's
like
faster than that.
it's like a dialogue between your interior life and the exterior life you're living are perfectly in sync.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
what you're feeling corresponding to is as it's coming in because like when you're so engulfed with thoughts like sometimes the sensations that you want to pick up on are dulled, you know.
Yeah.
Like people go out and say, man, touch some grass, and like while it's corny, I'll say it, it's corny
Oh,
to say
dude.
that, but like there's a grain of truth to
It's
it.
so yeah.
Yeah.
Like we all have rubber soles in our shoes. Like
Yeah.
it's very healthy to just walk around barefoot in the grass. Just don't step on like a hypodermic needle or something.
Yeah.
Don't
Be careful where you step on the grass, Alice.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't walk around barefoot like in the Midwest
Or you could
city.
step in bare shit.
Hell yeah, dude. There's minerals, bro.
Exactly.
I specifically step in bear shit. Like that's
Yeah.
I go out of my way.
I make it a goal of mine.
I make it a goal of mine to step in bear shit and go to my in-laws' house. And,
Although
and I make that my ultimate power move.
Rubber Soul by the
Assert your
Beatles.
dominance.
Yeah.
Good
album.
She's like, I stink, but I'm here.
Deal with it.
Wait, I heard Rubber Soul get brought up.
Yeah, it's a good album.
Be cool.
Oh,
And he
okay.
was mentioning Rubber Souls.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bless you.
bless. Yeah, thank you. Thank
Different kind of rubber soul. Yeah.
You. Got you.
Um,
That was the vibration of your soul.
It was.
Yeah.
In
No,
my, in my
but-
larynx.
like whenever we're looking at like biology, like people who study animals and shit, like if you're talking about mammals, it's like, okay, let me step back. Like if you're talking about like insects or like microbes, like and you're watching like Nat Geo or Discovery
Planet Earth.
Channel, yeah, it's like they'll talk about it in terms of, or just even just studying biology, like they'll talk about it in terms of like, this is what this creature does in this situation.
Mhm.
They behave this way. Once
Yeah.
you start talking about mammals, it's like usually this is how animals behave,
Right. Classic.
but they might do
right.
something completely unexpected.
Classical conditioning can kind
Yeah.
of break down in certain
Yeah.
instances, and the principles. We both animals and humans share similar like
Yeah.
sensibilities and having to adapt to environmental pressures and all that. Like we all come from the evolutionary tree.
Yeah,
At the
we're
same
like
time.
we're a global species. Like we have to adapt to different environments and shit. And but
Right.
like there's like a catch-22 to that, right? Because like the reason I brought that up is insects are in the zone. Like I was watching a video of this praying mantis that someone put in an ant colony, and this praying mantis is like just completely stationary because if he gets caught, like the entire ant colony is gonna fucking devour him. So like he's completely still, and then like for like an hour or two, and then as soon as one ant is not being observed by any of the others, with a second reflexes, just grabs him and just goes right back. So like we can't do that. We can't stay completely still for an hour and then still have, it's like, oh, here's my chance, and then still have that reflex to just like that. It's not thinking about I'm bored, I want to do
Right.
something else.
That's purely instinctual.
It's
Yeah.
pure instinct.
Right.
And like we're actually kind of less evolved in a lot of ways, that we like we can sit here and philosophize is like not going to help us hunt and gather.
Yeah.
Um,
Could I drop a book?
yeah.
There's a really good book called Stumbling. It's either Stumbling Upon or Stumbling on Happiness by Daniel Gilbert.
I'm going to write this down.
And he has it's actually near the beginning of the book, and I know this because I didn't make it through all the book, judge me. But in the beginning he talks about sensibilities between animals and humans. It's for probably a deeper purpose, but I'm just gonna kind of generalize. In the book he kind of draws that like animals don't really think about the future. They don't have the ability to like put themselves in the situation and think and simulate in their head in a visual way what that will look like, but rather it's more of like a responding to like what you're saying, like your environment. There's more of like a direct I don't want to say stronger relationship, but it's more of like a humans have like more duality in us.
Yeah.
Like we can both take this, extrapolate to the future, and try to find things in the past that explain what's happening now, like kind of cause and effect.
Yeah. We look at history so as not to repeat it. Like, I'm sorry, what was the name of that book?
I'm pretty sure it's Stumbling Upon Happiness. Stumbling on Happiness. That's what it is. Stumbling on Happiness by Daniel Gilbert.
So we do a book club on the show too. I do a live stream at the end of each month. This month we're reading The Vor, recommended by Anastasia Elliott. It's really interesting, but we do some nonfiction too. So I always take book recommendations.
Heck yeah, dude. I strongly recommend that one. It's it's really
I
good.
recommend One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish.
Oh, dude, it's already on my list, obviously.
Yeah, bring it to high school after the tests were taken.
And that took months to read.
We all need that palate cleanser.
I'm still not.
Yeah, I didn't understand it.
It's a complex A lot of deep
Yeah, it's like
concepts. in
Listen,
there.
dude, Green Eggs and Ham is about the proletariat.
For all the
against
places you
the-
will go,
The bourgeoisie.
or hop on pop.
That
which
goes
is-
without saying, dude. Everyone knows that.
That's above
Yeah,
my
yeah.
vocabulary and reading level. I'm not there yet.
Apparently, hop on pop is banned now.
What is?
Hop on pop by Theodore Geisel.
What?
That's Dr. Seuss's real name, and
Oh,
not.
Oh, I didn't know that actually.
But the actual reason being they believe it encourages kids to disrespect parents.
Interesting.
Horton here's a what?
that's crazy.
Yeah.
They ban a lot of books that
Bobby, what the hell is
it's weird that they do that.
Yeah.
Oh, but back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I think people actually, I think there's a case to be made that we didn't. It's not natural selection that led to the weirdness that we are, because in a lot of ways it doesn't fucking help us.
Oh yeah, there's like sexual selection and all kinds of other selections that we're so diversified as a
Yeah.
species.
Like
Yeah.
on one hand, we have everything that we like. We have all the technology and things that help our survival, help propagate our species, because of our weird brains we've got. On the other hand, it really slows us down in like a hunter-gatherer setting. So
Depression. Yeah.
yeah, dude.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah,
In
That's
Michigan,
it,
people
that-
hunt all the time.
that's
Pretty common.
Yeah, dude, Michigan people are impervious to all forms of mental ailment. I think
Like
they
let the record show.
they just put on their Michigan. They just go to the Michigan football game, and every problem is dissolved. Right there.
Everybody's at peace.
Yeah.
Perfect zone.
yeah. That's what that's what Detroit football fans are known for.
Yeah, or U of M or Michigan State.
Oh whoa! When
Dare
I hear
I say
U of M,
Ohio
I think of
State?
University of Memphis.
Hunter's more of a gatherer.
Gathering
What do you
his
gather?
cords. He gathers
I
those
gather-
cords, man.
I gathered.
Melodies.
I gather. Yes, I gather
Tickets.
melodies.
Yeah.
Pokemon games.
Chord
Knowledge.
structures.
Chord structures.
Pose.
The best I can.
No hunting tools.
I'm not saying that. I mean,
He's
I don't.
like,
I
let me
do
be
have.
clear.
I do
Oh,
have a
let me
sword. I
put-
do have a
off the
sword.
record.
If you consider that a hunting tool, which, I mean,
Oh,
this
yeah.
kind of sword is not useful for hunting at all. But
You gather pitches.
Nice.
Got him.
got him.
Sinister.
So
Gather
actually,
what?
who does the? I always see whenever you guys are doing a Twisted Tea Garden event, I always see these awesome posters. That's
Yeah.
you,
That's
dude.
all
Those are
Jeff.
sick, man.
That's all
I-
Jeff, man.
You're very artistic with an R, not
Oh
autistic.
yeah. There's probably a little bit.
On the
Like
spectrum.
everyone's somewhere on the
Yeah.
spectrum.
Jeff's just a workhorse. Jeff's always working on something, which is very commendable. He's like present. That's why I mentioned it earlier. He's present, focused. He's always working on something.
Don't you do everything by hand? Like all the.
Yeah, it's all handmade stuff. It takes forever. I
Yeah.
spent way too much time doing it, but it's fun, and I don't sizzle my eyes out using a screen, so it's
Yeah.
it's fun to
Sizzle
use
me.
my hands.
Sizzle me.
I feel
That's
bad
awesome.
for you when someone cancels.
That's
Oh,
why
I
they-
mean
Oh.
that happens. Not everyone can make it. You know?
Just pick up the little macaroni or whatever you're using and put
Yeah.
something else there.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Put the-
like
put the
the only
turkey hand
trouble is
down,
if
dude.
there's like a very intricate poster for a big show like Ghost Fest where like a band with 4 letters cancels, and I'm like, oh, I have to find another band that has 4 letters in their name,
Fuck.
because otherwise I'd have to
Yeah.
rearrange all the other bands. And I was
Yeah.
able to figure it out with Chan.
Nice.
Yeah.
If not, you could have asked Styx.
You know what? It's that's the thing about like something like that is a good example of how like restrictions like really make creativity flow. It's
yeah.
that's a weird
Yeah.
example about like who do I have to put here now to make this work?
Yeah.
Or like just having like an instrument, like that's your medium. You have this channel you have to work through
Yeah.
in order to make that, like restrictions and limitations make
I was
creativity
about to say,
thrive.
Yeah, I was about to say limitations are what like allow me a better like I guess it helps narrow down my indecisiveness.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like when you're trying to come up with something purely unique and you have like the world at your fingertips, like where do I start?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, teacups.
Mhm.
You know, like one little thing I'm like, that would be crazy. And
Yeah.
So,
Of course.
I,
Nancy was in front of me the whole time.
it's a tea garden. I can have something twisty too.
God,
Yeah.
suits.
Carry the
God,
four.
Like I have to search for a purpose until I'm like, the same with songs
Yeah,
too.
there's one
Yeah.
poster with a real bumblebee on it.
I saw that one. Yeah.
Oh,
The honey.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's the one that's like bee themed, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
those
there's
were-
that one too.
Those
Oh,
were real
okay.
bees. That poster was. It looks sad now
Yeah.
because it's all.
That one was a
down.
marble, I'm pretty sure. But there is one with a real bee and a real beetle on it.
For context, the poster, what Jeff is referring to is that the poster was made with honey, and then because it's hung, just like a regular vertical, the honey just started to
Gotcha.
gradually
You guys are
drift.
full of misinformation.
It's actually not honey. It's Delta
It's
8
Delta-
wax.
Oh, that's even
I think
cooler.
they just wanted to sound
Dude.
respectful.
Yeah, I was trying to keep it PG.
Oh,
But-
no, you were
oh,
swearing.
We can talk about
Yeah.
Delta 8 wax.
Dog, who am I
Yeah.
kidding? I'm not
I
saying.
didn't smoke any of it.
I didn't.
Smoke.
Hey, dude.
We
Dude,
won't mix
I may have taken a sample. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I mean.
That's what I
there's
gather.
still
That's what I
more-
gather.
That's funny.
Nice. Yeah, but the one with the bee on it was July 8th of 2022.
Was it that old?
That was
That's a
big
good
one.
memory.
That had Yedge on it and Dendrons.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
That was a good show.
that
Yeah.
Yedge and Dendrons were
A
really
broken
good. They're-
bong.
Everyone that night was so good. Yeah, the broken bong was a good one.
We're totally. I hope we're not getting too off topic.
Oh no,
but we're
that's
live.
all this is we jump from. There is no structure.
Okay,
It's
hell
a
yeah.
complete shit show.
Rabbit hole number 352.
Yeah, something.
Hunters from,
That's funny you'd say that. This is
Or is
152.
it bunny hole?
That's right. We were talking
Hair
about
hole.
bunny hole. Whoa.
Bunny hole.
PG.
PG.
Yeah, do not fucking swear on my show.
Yeah, what
or
the
talk
fuck?
about fucking drugs.
Why are you using the fuck word, dude?
Yeah.
No, you're asking questions. Go on.
Connor, stop swearing.
Sorry.
Do not fucking swear.
Y'all have like a
Fucking
swear
sorry.
jar up in here.
It would be
sorry, dude.
overfilled by now.
It's like when I was in 8th grade, we'd always make this joke. It's like, I know this word that starts with F and ends with UCK, but it'd be flying duck.
Nice.
Isn't
Nice.
That's two words.
Two words.
No, I'm a rebel. I said flying duck.
Not the way I do it.
Is
It's got
fire
no
truck
space.
one
No
word?
space, no hyphen. Fuck that, dude.
No, I think it's two
Fine.
I think
words.
it's two words actually. Yeah,
It's
but
It's actually
Compound?
fleeing.
Oh.
I'm not
Feed it.
sure.
That's it.
It's foreign. You won't get it.
So earlier you asked where we're all from, and then we went into talking about different ideas and stuff.
We went to
which by the way, I love
like-
that. I don't want to stop that. Like you're talking about flow. That's what flow is. Like
Yeah.
flow is just being observant of the moment.
I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to be clear. Also, I was kidding about you can fucking swear on this. If that wasn't
Oh,
obvious,
Oh,
fuck yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
That, I just
I've-
need your permission.
just
bro.
to be and we can also talk about drugs. That's fine. Also, I was just kidding. Just to be clear, I'm sorry. What are you?
Oh, nah. No,
So-
you're good, man.
I mean, to follow that up, I'm from Ohio. You're talking about drugs and swearing. So, I was born in Cleveland, Ohio, but I stayed there very early years. So,
Are you from Michigan?
Yeah, I grew up in Michigan and Colorado.
And you're from Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool that you guys can
He's
sit
basically
on the
from
same
Murfreesboro.
couch.
But yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm born from Cleveland. I hail from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Cavaliers. But
Or Chip the Ripper.
Cleveland Cavaliers. I wasn't trying to get medieval on our asses. But,
Right?
I know.
Yo, shout out to the Inquisition. Dude.
Yeah, the Inquisition, dude.
Didn't they kill Galileo though?
Yeah, not shout out to them.
Yeah, no.
You straight one of the most
Strike
like
the record.
and visionary.
Shout out to the
scientist.
worst part of history, bro.
Dude, yeah, shout out.
Boo.
But yeah.
Or cross out.
cross out. But I'm really from Murfreesboro. That's my hometown, Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Awesome.
It's a few miles. I say few. It's like 25 to 30
Yeah.
miles from Nashville. So
I grew up in Fayetteville, Tennessee. It's like right above
Yeah.
Huntsville, Alabama.
oh okay.
I
I
got
was
you.
Fayetteville, Arkansas, but never Fayetteville.
Yeah,
Tennessee.
it's right above it's the last city you go into before you get to Alabama.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So you're from Ohio. You're from what part of Michigan are you from?
Ann Arbor,
Okay,
Chelsea.
I'm not familiar with that area. Where is that?
It's right here.
Gotcha.
Just about. Yeah.
This is Michigan.
Where you from, Jeff?
I'm from Utah.
Utah.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, so can we talk about your upbringing?
Yeah.
Okay, that was actually going to be something I was going to bring up later, is how everyone kind of grew up. So let's start with you. Say what?
I'm just kidding.
You have 7 moms?
No, I did not.
I get it.
There are polygamists out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up in the Mormon church.
Okay, I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, so I'm sure there's a lot we could talk about there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I actually don't know a lot about the Jehovah's.
I don't know a lot about Mormons, except that
Yeah.
I've got a Book of
Yeah,
Mormon and
yeah.
I've talked to some Mormons,
Yeah.
so I know a little bit about it.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
was that
okay.
did you go to public school?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that how predominant was religion in your household?
Oh, very. Yeah. Like I was going to church with my family like my whole life until like college, I guess. So they kind of eventually like kicked me out. I kind of kicked myself out too at the same time when I went to college. And yeah, I mean it was like a good upbringing, but after like kind of taking a step back, I kind of started realizing, oh, it is a little culty. Oh.
Yeah.
But it's
Do you-
like, it's just Christianity on steroids.
Yeah.
Like most other crazy Christianity religions.
Mormonism and Jehovah's Witnesses get compared a lot because they both
Yeah.
do the ministry, like knocking on doors.
Yeah.
Did you do a lot of that too, growing up?
No, both my brothers and my dad went on missions. I was actually really close to doing it. It was like right around that time when I started like smoking weed and stuff.
Mhm.
I was like, oh no, I don't want to do that.
So how old were you when you realized this wasn't really for you?
Literally like 2015. So I was probably 16 when I started like being like, oh, I don't feel super guilty about these very harmless things that are fun to dabble in.
Yeah.
And for me, like music started getting like, just the culture of music was very inviting of just potions and substances like weed and alcohol and
The elixir.
Yeah.
the elixirs and
Yeah.
all the and growing up in the Mormon church, you have like the word of wisdom, very none of my family has ever touched any like substances or anything.
That's
And
like
so
my family too.
when I first like started doing that stuff, I was like, wait, this is like fun, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like a good person still,
Yeah.
So
Okay. Do you still?
Mm.
We can delete this part if you want, but do you still have like a good relationship with your parents?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there were a few like, rapids.
Yeah.
Uh,
Same.
throughout my teen years, as everyone has.
Is that-
For sure.
When people leave the Mormon church, is that typical, or do a lot of people get cut off from their family?
Oh, I have plenty of friends who like I have one friend who came out as trans, and their parents just disowned them.
See, that's like
You know,
Jehovah's
like
Witnesses
email.
is like they're not allowed to talk to their kids if they leave. They're not allowed to like pick up the phone.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where it becomes very damaging.
I have a good relationship with my parents, but they're
Okay.
actively breaking the rules
Yeah.
by doing that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What are your pronouns, by the way?
Him or her.
Okay, cool.
By gender. I present as both
Okay,
sometimes.
Sweet. Awesome.
But yeah.
They're accepting of it, and like according to the religion, they shouldn't be type vibe.
Yeah.
or-
Yeah, like that's not really the wedge for
Uh-huh.
us.
Yeah.
Like my sister is very, and we'll get off this in a second, but my sister is very like deep in that organization. Like she moved to New York to be closer to like the headquarters. If she was a man, she would have like a very high up position. But women can't hold positions, so she'll end up probably marrying into yeah.
Wow. Yeah, same with the Mormon church. Like, women can't hold the priesthood,
Mhm.
And when I very first started doubting the church, I started actually, like, thinking, like, wait, why is the church so fucking sexist? And I was like,
Yeah.
why is there no, like,
Biblical
Heavenly
reasons.
Mother? Like, why does this, like, man rule over everything? You
Yeah.
know, isn't there a yang to every yin?
It's the very definition of a patriarchy. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, literally. And still, like, I mean, my dad is still very about the Mormon Church, and we once in a while still have like disagreements, but we're okay with the fact that we disagree. You know,
It's very
but I'll
helpful.
be like, Dad,
That's good.
that's so patriarchal of you.
Yeah.
Not like calling him out. Just like Mormon Church is like, can't you see how like
Yeah.
how
One-sided.
blatantly like manhood worshipping it is? It's just so funny.
With the power of the internet, all of these things are actually losing members right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Oh,
all
yeah.
kind of dying out. Like Scientology's down to like a few, what are they, like 5 digits, like 30,000 something like that. It's
No
like,
way.
Dude, they claim they have millions of members, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like
Dude.
like seriously reduced, way
Can't
below.
get get those tax breaks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same with the Mormons. Like, it's really hard to get excommunicated, and they claim to have all these millions of numbers, but like most everyone's
Yeah.
inactive. and
I will
doesn't
say,
fuck with it.
Like I've talked to a lot of Mormons. Like, I'm the wrong person to like knock on my door to tell me about God, because I will talk to you about it for like respectfully. Like, I
Yeah,
want to hear what
right.
you have to say.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, don't come to my door unless you want to have that conversation. Because anyway, I've talked to a lot of Mormons, and I have some Mormon tenants where I work, and I will say they're like the coolest people I've ever met. Like, they're very fucking nice people.
Mm-hmm.
At least in my interactions with them.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you guys grow up with religion in the house?
Yeah, no, I grew up extremely first Baptist Christian, and then non-denominational Christian.
Gotcha.
And I went by myself to church most of the time, because like I was very
One is the darkness.
Okay.
no, I was very devout, man.
Yeah.
I'd go by myself, but when I went to college, I just realized, like, I took my first philosophy class, and then I realized, like, I'm allowed to think for myself and not feel guilty about it. So I guess identify as agnostic, because, like, I like the idea of there being a God, and I don't want to discount it.
Well, I think that's the only appropriate answer
Yeah.
to what the fuck is
To what the
reality
fuck is actually happening, right?
Is like, I have no fucking idea.
And the thing is, the real answer, in my opinion, is that we don't know, but it's okay that we don't know. We don't have that brain capacity. We don't even have 100% of our brains unlocked.
Sure.
It's not to mention, if you go to a village in some tribe, like, who are you to tell them that something that they've been practicing for their entire livelihood is wrong? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Sure, I'll
Yeah, I mean, you might get killed. Who knows?
like, you know, like, it's the principle. Like, not to mention, this is America, and it's ironic.
This
you
is
know,
America.
we still have, like, God we trust, and like a lot
Yeah.
of things.
Tender.
On
That's
legal
actually
tender.
not in the original. That was added in later, actually.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's crazy. It's just like, I love hearing about everyone's religion, and
Me too.
in my opinion, like, this, as fucked up as America is, this is a place where you are allowed, like, we grow up, like, in some sense, free, right? Like, we're not free from everything because of capitalism and because of a lot of factors
Yeah,
working
taxes.
against us.
There's gonna be like taxes.
Exactly. But we have the right as Americans to believe in what we believe in, and who are we, in my opinion, to discount anyone for what they believe.
Oh yeah, I
So,
totally agree with you. The only reason I actually, when I moved out when I was 18, I was homeschooled in addition to growing up in a cult, which, let's just call it what it is. So I literally knew nobody outside of my church. I moved closer to here, started going to live music. I remember Eastern was the first local live show I went to.
Cool.
And I will say, like, what you guys do is extremely important.
It is,
I can
yeah.
say personally, like, it saves lives. You might not realize how important it is. Playing music, putting on shows opening your home to people, hosting events, like, it is extremely important. So
it is. That's actually something I had experience with in college. Like, in 2020, when you guys were, just starting to get together and whatnot, I went to college at Delta State in Cleveland, Mississippi. I was part of the art department.
okay, cool.
I blank slated after being in a really toxic, like, fraternity and relationship situation. I was like, I want to do art. I love art. I did art 4 through high school, yada yada. Went to the art department. And then I lived at a house we called it 606. It was 606 Court Street. And we had house shows there in college. It was extremely important to the community, like you were saying, because everyone went there. There was never a single fight. I've never seen a disagreement there. Everyone was there to have a good time, experience the bands, and just have fun. And I realized like how important that was, how important it is to just, have a space where people can let loose.
It's
and be.
church, man. It's spiritual.
It is.
Yeah.
It's spiritual. You can be who you truly are. Music is the universal language, right?
Yeah.
So we were the last people of a decade because of COVID to run that house. And by we, Kelsey, my old roommate, she did all the booking and honestly, probably 95% of the work. So shout out to her. But I was a part of that environment. I wasn't in the best place, but I was in that environment, and it taught me a lot. And then when these goons presented themselves, I was in Memphis.
Presented themselves.
Presented them.
I was like, I'm in.
I'm in.
Are we back on?
But like, it was my golden ticket. It was something I missed so dearly. During COVID, I lived in Memphis for 2 years, and nobody that I was friends with over there had any lick of creativity. Like, love them to death, and that's not talking smack about them, but that's something I was missing. And it's like, I saw these guys, and I saw what they were doing, and I was like, this is exactly what I'm missing. This is what I'm, like, some of the best moments in my life were at that little, like, tiny house that we packed in the middle of fucking nowhere, Mississippi. And I saw that it was a bigger house. It was in Nashville. It was somewhere I was curious about, somewhere where I reunited with a childhood friend, and the rest is history.
Yeah, man.
So,
Awesome.
all that to say, if I'm going on too long of a tangent,
No, you're
like,
fine.
it's
Go up.
imperative to have that community. Like you were saying,
Sure.
like I'm glad
It
you
saved
said
my life. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here without live music.
it's so important, man. It's like no matter what shit is going on, we can put everything aside and all be as I have such bad depression and ADHD, but when I got on that stage with these guys, it's the most present I've ever been.
Yeah.
It's so important. And the people around me are all having such a great time, and we're making such good memories.
Mhm.
And, like, you mentioned it earlier several times, like, everything is impermanence, man. It's fleeting, right?
This is it.
So this is I recognize, I might not even appreciate it as much as I should because I'm human, but it's so imperative to have this,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
It is art, and
Cheers to
one of
that,
its
man.
purest, rawest forms. Pass my cheers to Sid.
You got it.
Hey, man.
Let's get
But yeah, speaking of house shows,
Yeah,
the
please.
next ones we have are November 4th. Pull out your calendar.
We're literally doing it right now.
November 4th. It's a rap
2023.
show. We got 5-6 rappers.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be huge. And then
This is it. Twisted Tea Garden?
yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
fuck
Throwing
yeah.
up fucking
Yeah.
Let's
yeah.
go.
Weed
Yeah, man.
smokers.
Pull out your
Come on.
backwoods.
No, yeah, that there will be.
Pull up the backwoods.
We also have
Put my money on
Let's
Hove.
go. Bro, I love
December
hip hop.
9th.
Oh well, we also have November 11th.
Okay, sorry, 4th?
Yep.
That's
11th.
That's the hip-hop.
11th, Make a Wish, and then December 9th.
2023.
Boom.
Yes, this year.
And boom.
Not next year.
What if they listen to this 2 years from now?
Then
you missed out.
Yeah, they missed it out.
Then they'll need to know.
Buy a time machine then.
You guys probably have all been here long enough to know, like, we have a really cool community sometimes. I think sometimes it's really cliquey. And that's something that's a big part of what I'm trying to do here is, like, bring everyone together.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk to the punk scene in Murfreesboro. I'll talk to Broadway musicians that are just, like, making it down there. I'll talk to you guys, West Side, everybody. I want to talk to Chattanooga. I want to talk to Clarksville.
That's awesome.
And I
Don't
want
discriminate
one
or
single-
exclude anyone.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
We will have one solidary, groovy scene, and that's not up for debate.
No.
Let's go.
We will.
Yeah.
One nation under a groove. Parliament
Hell yeah.
Funkadelic.
Yeah, man.
You guys are super cool too. You got a good energy. Like you're doing this for the right reasons.
Thank you, man.
I'd
Yeah.
like to think so. I appreciate that.
Ian, Hunter, did you guys grow up with religion in the house? Let me preface it before you do. I just want to say I have a really healthy respect for the Bible and Christianity and the Quran and like
The Torah.
the Torah. Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. And the Old Testament and like Christianity too. But it took me a while to get there because when I moved, I was 18 when I moved out,
Yeah.
and I was very much like, I was obnoxiously atheist when I moved out because I'm like, I was just pissed off
It's
at,
rebellion, man. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't blame you if that was your situation. The juxtaposition of
Yeah.
like being not to downplay anything. Just saying like you growing up in that situation and then being like, no, you know what? Fuck all of this. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do what I want. I don't blame you at all.
I just,
Yeah, go on.
I just didn't want anyone watching this to think like I'm bashing Christianity at all because I'm really
Yeah.
not.
Right.
Like I have a healthy respect for all religions.
100%.
It's mostly the text more than how people interpret it because that's I grew up actually reading the Bible, which I find out like talking to Christians, it's like, oh, you don't actually know what's in there. That's one thing that's different about Jehovah's Witnesses to some other Christian denominations. So that's where I get frustrated is like, oh, I don't even claim to be a Christian, but I know more about this than you do. Same with Judaism. Like I know a lot of like secular and also like practicing Hasidic Jews, and it's like you guys aren't taught what's in the Bible a lot of the time. But I just wanted to preface and say that before we got into it that I don't have anything against religion.
Sure.
Yeah,
You
I'm
can-
cool with Christianity. But also, fuck God.
Yeah, fuck
I'm just
God,
kidding.
That's my religion.
Yeah, dude. I listen to Ozzy
Yeah, like-
Osbourne and Pantera.
Yeah, people believe what they believe, and if you're Christian your whole life, hell yeah, cool. If that's what if that's your path, cool.
So if that's what makes you happy and gives you sanity, because some people need it for sanity.
Yeah.
So back
Oh,
back to the
yeah.
question before I derailed my own question. Did you guys grow up with religion?
Yeah, we could take it on a one-by-one basis. Ian, do you want to answer first?
Sure. I mean, I personally am also agnostic. There could be something or someone up there. Haven't really thought about it, but I don't want to give it doubt, But I mean, I did go to church when I was younger, up till I was about 11, when my family stopped.
Okay.
So it's like, there are some good morals there.
For sure. Yeah. It's right.
Although there are some where it's like, you either do this wrong or you go to hell.
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, do this our way or you go to hell.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of that, and then there's some like rules that come with some of the churches, like how you should dress and how you should live, and stuff like that. There are some that are welcoming to everyone, and then there's those who just kind of look down on people for being different from them.
For sure.
Yeah, it's like the us and them mentality. It's like and that's where kind of like that primitivism can kind of creep into like organized religion, and then a lot of course these are all generalizations, but it can get much more complicated, and people can start taking offense to certain belief systems that may not adhere to what another person believes. And
But then when they try and indoctrinate it in you as a kid, then I'm not into that. Like, VeggieTales is still disturbing to me to this day.
Yeah.
I had nightmares about that.
I
shit
saw
for a while.
Gourds Just Want to Have Fun on Facebook video the other day, and it reactivated my childhood trauma of VeggieTales.
Oh man.
Yeah.
dude, that's like and for people who don't know, that's like an S-class trauma.
Hey, yeah,
VeggieTales.
no.
It's an S-class one. It hits really deep
I haven't
somewhere.
thought about VeggieTales in about a decade, and I just
Which
It's
is
like,
why
oh,
you
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I know,
Gotta
right?
go to work.
Like, pretty sure my heart rate increased when you said that.
Blood pressure.
I thought
Your
about making
tomato
a
sauce.
meme where it
Yeah.
says meth not even once, and on the left it shows Larry the cucumber, and on the right it shows Pickle Rick from Rick and Morty.
That's
my
brilliant.
two favorite religions, VeggieTales and Rick and Morty,
Yeah.
contrast to each other.
Sure, yeah, no, 100%.
So how about you, Hunter?
I grew up in a pretty secular environment. I'm sure my mom, both my parents were raised with some degree of religious adherence, but for the most part, they wanted me to make up my own mind. They decided to kind of put it in my hands. which I really appreciate to this day. So, I mean, most of my stories are more like from like an outsider's perspective of like both wanting to honor what religion's talking about, and it's a very real sacred realm of experiences and things that we wonder about. Like you brought up the afterlife, you know, a lot of Christianity is like almost like this is like the training grounds for what the real life is, and you know that's if that's a person's belief, that's a person's belief. But like me personally, like I can't put too much emphasis on the afterlife. I don't really think about the afterlife because there's such a degree of uncertainty and what the other side will be like that it kind of detracts from where I am now.
Yeah.
If I, let's say like it's, you know, bad to entertain the thought. It can be really expanding for you to think about and meditate on what it means, like what kind of legacy do you want to live on and maybe where you're going to go after here. But ultimately, like,
Doesn't matter.
yeah, like I honestly don't really think about the afterlife. As weird as that sounds, like
It shouldn't affect how you live your life.
Yeah.
right. I mean, for me, it's more like what I leave behind. It's not what it's not what people walk away from. It's what they walk away with. So,
Oh, that's good. I like that.
yeah.
a
It's actually a little. It's actually a little.
Ah,
The Little Wayne lyric. It's on a song called "Believe Me" with Little Wayne and Drake. It's actually a really good song.
Young Money.
But yeah, I can't take credit for that. Yeah, Young Money. Haha. Here, cheers. But like I've always been super, because of that outsider perspective, because I was deprived of that in some way. I was really intrigued by it because like it turns people on and it makes people so devout about their beliefs that they're willing to die for it. And like,
Yeah.
when you really start to spin, when your mind kind of spins the wheels and like, instead of like abstracting what that person's doing, really take what that person's doing as a very serious thing that they really truly believe, even to the point of like an obsession. And like, I think you can kind of walk away with a lot of really interesting psychological evaluations on that. And that's where I come from. Like I like looking at more of like the psychological both incentive and effects of like religious experiences and wanting to, you know, like every religion has a community of practice, whether it's Christianity or Buddhism.
There's got to be a healthy balance. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's important that a person who wants to make something happen does it in their community. And somebody who wants to make a real effective change, of course, like take it into your own hands, but often when we have other people, it's actually more helpful and it helps us get more done. So a religion is in a way is like, it has this ability to bring people even closer together, but it's like it's more than that.
Community is something lacking in society just in general, especially the Western world. We all
a healthy community, I would say.
Sorry?
You know what I mean? Because like community is like a distinction between like it's a zooming in on a society.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I was just kind
yeah.
of thinking like a healthy community. Yeah. But go on.
No, yeah, I mean like to kind of just talk like touching on what you were saying, like growing up in a cult, I kind of see that like everything is a cult, like it's not just religion, like politics are a cult. It's like I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat. It's like personally I'm a human being with my own thoughts and opinions, but you do you, King. It's like, but that's totally fine when we're talking about football. It's like I'm a diehard. I'm a Vols fan. Whether they win or lose, I'm with my team. That's fine when we're not talking about like how to run the world or like the existence of the universe.
Right. I think it kind of goes back to that primitivism thing.
Tribalism,
like,
man.
Yeah, tribalism, yeah. Like, yeah, tribalism. I didn't mean primitivism. But tribalism, like, you can see it in a lot of different varieties. But it so happens that when you talk about both, like, the origin of the universe, what mankind's here to do, people kind of tend to, like, take that personally. And,
it's because they identify with those beliefs. I am a Christian. I am this idea.
Mm-hmm.
So you're attacking me by saying that.
Yeah, totally.
That's ego doing its thing.
Yeah.
And it's so hard, right? Because like like in certain areas in the Middle East, like that's all you know. You've been taught that from birth. You've been taught anyone trying to tell you otherwise is evil. Like they're wrong.
I think there's that, and then fear.
Yeah, you can't leave. Yeah, if you don't do this, then like this is all you know, and you have to do it.
Yeah.
It's like an abusive relationship.
It is.
Pretty much.
Not to say that it's condemned to that, but it can potentially take on that.
Yeah, and this is kind of like what I was trying to say. Like, I have a lot of respect for the Torah and the Quran and the New Testament. I don't have respect so much for how people are using these things. So like, I don't have respect for a lot of Christianity, like organized Christianity, but I respect the Bible because it's like, but they don't know what the fuck it is. They've never read it. So like,
what do you so I'll have a question for y'all. What do you think people personify God? Like, they think of God as like having a face, like something.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, Mormons do.
Christianity for
and
sure.
And then a lot do see
Actually,
God as like meaning like everything.
Right.
Yes, that's very Judaism.
Yeah,
like the Torah, like I fuck with the Old Testament, dude. Like the Torah is awesome. Like there's so like YHVH, the name of God, Yahweh, Jehovah, whatever. It's literally the Hebrew characters for earth, water, air, fire. It's just an explanation.
It's the Avatar fucking element.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just it's the building blocks of reality.
4 elements.
Yes, and it's not a person. It's like sometimes they'll tell a story like Job, where it's like they're showing it as a person to kind of explain this concept to you. But ancient Israelites understood that these were stories. Like it's not like today where they're like, no, that shit happened. It's like ancient people knew that shit didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like I think creationism is like 500 years old. Like it's super new. Like people for the vast history of this stuff understood that it was important but parable. And then actually while we're on that, Yeshua, Jesus, is YHVH plus the letter for spirit. So it's God personified. Like it's God made flesh. So that's where Christianity comes in, where with a personal faced God. But like Judaism is just like, it's like, this is how shit works. It's not a person. This is an understanding of the universe kind of thing.
Yeah. That's really cool.
It is cool. I could rant about the Torah forever. I have my friend Danny Burgess. He
go hard, man.
He's a theologian. Like he reads Hebrew. Like and he could go on for hours about it too. But like, there's a thing called I'll get off of this in a second. Alice has heard me talk about this enough. But there's a thing called gematria.
Is this true?
She's very quiet. She's shy. But there's the thing called gematria. But basically, like, if you're an Israelite and you are reading Hebrew, like, that's your native language, you're reading letters and numbers at the same time. Their alphabet is the same as their numbers.
Damn.
So when you're reading the text, when you're reading the scroll, you're seeing numbers and letters at the same time. You could do this in English. You could say A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. But you're going to have to sit there and translate it.
Yeah.
There's sacred geometry and patterns interwoven into these stories, which I'm like, how the fuck did they do? They're way smarter than anyone today.
Just like Tool's music.
Yes,
just like fucking Tool.
Sort of.
Like the polyrhythms and lateralis. You're just like,
yo, the Torah is almost like Tool, bro.
Yeah, if anyone needs to walk away, lateralis is basically the Bible.
But how about those tritones?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, right.
It's like they did actually consider that the devil's pitch, the pitch from hell.
Oh, really?
I've actually heard there's a little bit of myth in that. Like it's
the diminished fourth.
Like I've heard
augmented fourth. My bad.
Augmented fourth, yeah. I've actually heard that like the devil in music is actually like a little mythologized a little bit. Like I've actually heard it's not. Go do your own research. Adam Neely, great YouTuber, has like a really cool video on it. Like he's an excellent source. I will probably butcher it. So, but I've heard that it's actually a little mythologized. Like just like a lot of stories, you know, like only like about like 10% makes its way throughout the eons, and it's like the game of telephone. You know, the story changes
Oh, for sure.
And the symbols that they originally meant, what the symbols now are, they had maybe an original meaning conferred by them, but now like those meanings have been taken by so many different individuals who have gotten power and able to actually make an impact, like even potentially on a global scale. And
so people weren't actually killed for playing it.
What?
For playing
Like
it?
playing the tritone. She's talking about.
That I don't know.
That I don't know. But
Give it a try.
it's
Try.
I mean,
Try it right now.
from what I heard, it started with the first harmonies of the world, where it's like the monks would do the chants, where like no 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 no,
I
and
thought you
then
were singing Happy Birthday.
no, but like one of the monks had a little too much to drink, and then he ended up harmonizing in fifths, except for the 5 chord where he harmonized with the tritones. So like no 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 no, and thus the fifths and the devil's pitch, dare I say, were born.
Oh shit.
Dang.
And then
That's interesting.
It
I don't
just
know
sounded
anything
so
about
unpleasant that they associated it with the devil and was frowned upon during that time period.
That's an interesting thing about like music theory. Like I don't know a ton about it, but like there are notes that are right and there are notes that are wrong.
Well, technically,
Like, we
there
just-
are no notes that are wrong.
Okay.
Jazz.
Victor
Gotcha.
Wooten said actually you're one step away from the right note always.
Oh, interesting.
Well, in classical, yes, there are wrong notes, but technically there aren't.
I gotcha.
In jazz, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Free jazz, there are no
Okay.
rules.
In jazz, you can play the whole tone if you want, and I often do.
Yeah, if you just play the chromatic scale, I mean, you're never off.
Bro, I just realized y'all have a Nintendo Wii in here. What are y'all doing?
Wait,
Sorry
weeding it
to-
up, bro.
Sorry to talk
Oh,
off topic, but I was like looking at y'all's gear, and y'all have a fucking Wii in the corner.
You know what's funny is I literally use nothing in here. Like I would bring my own equipment. Yeah.
You don't use the Sure Safe there?
That's where I keep my vast dildo collection. Actually,
Ah.
the ones that will fit.
Oh.
Is the
Makes
code
sense.
6969?
It's where the
Damn it!
Nice. That is an interesting code.
It's like, damn it. Hey Siri, set reminder to change the lock.
Now everyone knows. Thanks.
The world knows.
Dang it, Bobby.
You're safe now.
Sid, what's your favorite King of the Hill quote?
What's gotten into that boy?
That's good.
Something typical like that, I guess.
Mine is when Bobby's talking to Hank, and he's like, "Dad, what do we do if somebody asks for their steak well done?" He's like, "Well, son, we politely but firmly ask them to leave."
I like it when Bobby says, "Why do you hate things you don't understand?" I love that one.
Have you guys seen the Meat Canyon King of the Hill?
I haven't,
Dude,
but
I
I
haven't
love
really
Meat
watched
Canyon.
that show.
That
Meat
is some
Canyon's
messed up
So
stuff.
cringy, dude.
I love the Bobby Hill in that where he's just like he's just slowly devolving. You gotta watch it.
Yeah.
He's just slowly devolving into like this. It's a mix between King of the Hill and Akira.
Oh, sick,
So he's just
sick.
becoming like this amorphous blob. And he's like,
Yeah.
okay, Dad. He's like devolving from humanity. But okay, so let's go this way this time.
Sure.
What kind of music was in the household when you grew up? Like, what did your parents play? Yeah, or listen to?
Well, my parents are split, so I get a lot of my music taste from my dad. But when I was with my mom was really into, she was into Prince, which is cool, but she was also into like Rascal Flatts and Christian music.
Oh no.
So exactly.
Life's
So
the
I
highway,
was-
man.
I was just like, yeesh, the Cars
Alright.
soundtrack.
Yeah, I know
But-
that one.
Go
But-
on, I'll be right back.
What's it called? My dad, on the other hand, to this day, Kevin's got a
You can just leave it.
fucking
I'll get it,
heart
Jeff.
and ears of gold. My dad was listening to Flashing Lights by Kanye. My dad was listening to
nice.
Gorillaz. My dad was listening to REM.
Oh yeah, your dad's
Awesome.
hip.
Yeah,
he
That's
was
what's up.
he was listening to Incubus, Morning View. Like, that's where my dad is honestly who I have to thank for my music taste. And just, I spent every other weekend with him, so it was a very, limited amount of time. But it was crucial for me because I was like, that's the time I was absorbing. It was like, that's the time I felt like was the irregular, if you will.
Mm.
Like the time where I was like, whoa. Like, first of all,
Yeah.
I know nothing about this dude. Second of all, like, this music is actually like impactful and impacted me to just be like, how the fuck did people make music like that?
Yeah.
And I started making music because my friend Clay showed me Bass Nectar on the bus to
Nice.
school in 6th grade. But like that curiosity originally stemmed from like my dad's music taste, just because he was always listening to something that mom was never listening to. She just, I don't want to say she has vanilla taste, because music is so vast. Everyone has the right to listen to what they want to listen to.
Yeah.
But my dad was like his playlists were always like black sheep to my household. I was like, what the fuck is this? You know,
Yeah.
always looking forward to whatever he was playing.
That adds like that allure to it too.
It does, man.
Yeah.
It really does. So, that's both sides for me.
Very cool.
Go ahead.
Are we gonna need to like send your mom an apology later? Like, am I gonna need to like FaceTime
Yo.
her and be like,
Hey,
yo?
again-
You won't say your mom has vanilla taste, but I will.
it is kinda vanilla.
I preface. She
Connor's
listens.
mom has vanilla taste, dude.
She
I'm
did.
sorry,
I
Listen,
hope she hears that.
she did listen to Prince Ye. So.
No, Prince is
Yeah,
awesome.
Prince. Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying like everyone has the right to their music, because like she did listen to Prince, and Prince is awesome.
Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
fan.
I mean, going back, like listening to like popular stuff from like the '80s, not so bad.
Hmm?
Listening to popular stuff now is like not as great.
It's trendy, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of it's trendy, but
Some of it's really good. Like
Yeah.
like Tame Impala. He's
Tim
super
Paul's
popular.
great, man.
Yeah.
Some of Post Malone stuff, not pre Malone, when Post Malone was just kidding.
Yeah.
Like
Some of
beer
his
bongs
stuff.
and Bentley's like mid, but you get
Yeah.
into his later stuff and you're like, all right, he's
There's
finding a song.
some stuff that's like super popular that's really good.
Like I forget if he's in the song Sunflower. Like
Yeah,
there was
he is.
so that song was in
Spider-Man.
first of all, yes, thank you. It was in the Into the Spider-Verse, which is
Oh,
crazy,
that song. Yeah.
crazy important for the future of animation,
Oh,
because
sure.
I forget if it was Pixar or who was behind that.
I don't think it was Pixar.
Was it? It was probably like Marvel or some shit then.
Yeah, I think Marvel.
I don't know if they have their own animation studio, but
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
but people have been on a rugged like
I got you, bro.
hyper realistic but fake
I got you.
style, and just
It's a little tricky.
yeah. So all that to say, trendy stuff. You go on before I lose my fucking mind going on tangents.
Dude, I will not take this fucking beer bongs and Bentley slander, dude. Dude, stay off that album.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
He's lost control.
Alex, he's going for your dildo case. Quick!
You son of a
Change
bitch!
Change the combo.
So yeah, dude. But "Stay Off Beer Bongs and Bentleys" is like one of my favorite ballads that's come out of the last few years. And that slide
doing
guitar solo, there's a slide guitar solo in "Stay" that's gonna inspire a ton of young music students. And "Rockstar" is a fucking banger. That being said,
I mean, it's not a bad song. Yeah. Go ahead.
dude,
Go ahead.
it's I kind of feel like a kinness to like,
yeah.
what
Thanks, bro.
what Connor's saying. I got a lot of influence from my dad. I probably got a little more influence from my mom. Like my mom definitely
Thank
gave me
you.
more of my. Well, they both did. They both gave me like an appreciation for new wave, and my dad
No
was
beer for you.
super into hard rock. So like my first
Good.
loves were like the Police, the Beatles. Well, those aren't hard rock, but just classic rock. The Beatles, the Police,
Yeah.
and even some new wave. The Cars from my dad, Tears for Fears from my mom.
Yes.
Tears for Fears is fire. Dude, can we get a cheers for Tears for Fears? Everybody loves the
I have
world.
never
go.
listened. I've never
Oh, dude,
listened to
he's
it,
a
but
huge Tears for Fears.
but I will
fan.
Favorite
drink.
bands of all time.
Dude, they're
Nice.
so good.
I forgot this was sitting over here. This is lukewarm. Otherwise, I would have offered it to you guys.
Oh,
Oh, that's quite all right.
Lukewarm PBR.
It is lukewarm.
This episode is brought to you by Lukewarm
Yeah.
PBR.
Sponsor me, please.
We need it. And but there's some few things that I grew into like on my own. Like I love I love hip hop because it's a form of music where the word is first and foremost.
We bond over that heavily.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
we
yeah.
bond over hip hop. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I love hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this rap show you guys are throwing. That's swag.
Honestly,
Yeah.
me too.
I just said swag.
Okay,
dude,
dude,
bring
cool,
it back,
That's
man.
fitting.
No, don't even bring it
It's
back.
vintage.
Pop on.
It's
Say it.
vintage lingo, dog.
Yeah.
It's vintage lingo. Say what's on your heart, bro. No judgment.
Dude,
It's I have it. I have swag.
Swag.
I'm dedicated.
dude, you gotta show me. Here, I'll show you mine
It's-
if you show me yours. I have no tattoos beyond.
Let me show you my heart. No, I meant like it's on my actual organ. I can't show you.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's
You must know
etched
some
on
really
it,
good
bro.
So
surgeons.
you needed open heart surgery just for the tattoo?
I told you I'm
Bless you.
I'm
Nice.
swagged out, bro.
No, you're swagged in,
Swagged
bro.
Yeah.
You got that swag in you, bro.
Yeah, you
You
guys.
Straight to the
gotta
heart.
say you guys are like the best guests ever. This is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
appreciate it, man.
You're
You
the
guys-
best
I'm not
ever.
I'm not kicking you out. I just want to say that.
yeah, we're done, guys. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ian and Jeff.
best
are
guest
influencers
ever.
are
Look at the
fucking-
time.
I don't give a shit.
You guys are
Um,
so great. Anyways, goodbye.
You
Yeah.
guys are so great. Get the fuck out of my. No, I'm just kidding.
And this is
But-
sponsored to you by PBR.
Lukewarm PBR.
Lukewarm,
I
yeah.
feel
Don't
you
don't don't
could-
refrigerate.
Don't refrigerate.
Leave in the sun.
Are you even having a good time if you don't accidentally leave your PBR like outside for like an hour while you're in a party and then go back to it later and you're like, ugh.
But you're like,
Best
nah, I'll
best
take it.
party.
Yeah.
Best party.
Yeah, that's
If
fine.
you don't lose your beer, man, like, are you even really going that hard? I don't think you are.
Perch.
So that's okay. So you grew up with some diverse but interesting music as well.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. Like what I tell people, like when people ask me what music I like, I just tell them like I like inspired music. It's each genre can have a focal point in which you think about it more. I mean, hip hop grew out of New York, and
That's right.
part of its commercialization
Out of the Bronx.
out of the
Yeah.
Bronx, and part of the commercialization of hip hop is hustle culture. It's like
Yeah.
gearing people up, making people hype. That's
Yeah.
part of like the archetype of what makes hip hop a successful genre, because it came from it came from almost like people basically buying old 70s records, disco records, and going to
Yeah.
disc jockey parties. Like
Mm.
the disc jockey used
Real
to
old school DJs.
be real old
Yeah.
school. Like the DJ used to be preeminent. The MC was secondary. The MC
Yeah.
just got the party going, but
Mhm.
after you had like, especially like the New York Renaissance with Nas, and not to discount the West Coast fans, not to discount the West Coast.
Yo, there's the Dirty
Or
South
Jay-Z.
too. One of my favorite rappers of all time is from Memphis.
Yeah.
I don't know Jeffrey. You guys know Jeff? He's not huge, but man,
Okay.
bro, I will turn you guys on to some Jeffrey, bro. I don't
Yeah.
know Jeffrey. All lowercase, all one
I
word.
don't know, do you?
Cause like I gotta.
You don't know. You don't know. I don't know Jeffrey.
I don't know.
I
I
actually
don't know Jeffrey.
know. I don't know Jeffrey.
Did he just make like he's just like I'm gonna have a ball with people saying like they don't know me, and then like I'm gonna make them have to repeat themselves.
Yo, yeah, actually,
Or did
probably.
he come
He's-
up with it as like I don't know, Jeffrey?
He's
That's
like,
true.
He's like, that's it. He's
Right,
like, all my
right.
haters, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Started in New York. West Coast has its thing popping off, and then like there's the Southern rap.
Southern that comes up, and like I mean even in like Virginia Beach, like New Jack Swing started off in Virginia Beach with Terry Riley, and like Pharrell Williams actually went to work with Terry Riley, and so like New Jack Swing, I'm sure Pharrell took a little bit of that in his own way and ended up kind of bringing in the super producer era, where he's producing for Nelly, he's producing for Gwen Stefani, he's producing for just like a ton of people, both pop acts and rap acts alike, and then Kanye's in that wave too. Kanye's doing tracks for Alicia Keys, he's doing tracks for Jay-Z.
Yeah, for all those that don't know, Kanye was a big producer before he was ever a rapper.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
produced half the Blueprint. We just watched the documentary on that,
I
which I know.
listened to the Blueprint the other day actually when I was going on my run,
Nice.
and he shouted out Kanye West on one of the tracks. I was like, oh shit. But he also dissed Nas on one of the tracks, and I was like, oh dang.
Oh well, fuck you.
He's going hard
Which is funny.
against Nas.
Which is funny because the track you're referring to is called Takeover, and Kanye actually produced that. So
Yeah.
Kanye produced. That's one of the songs that Kanye produced on that record. But, I like classical music. My parents didn't really bring me up with that, but
Who are some of your favorite composers?
Debussy, Eric Satie.
Yeah, good choices.
Thanks. Like Bach, if you want to get fucking noodly and crazy with it, but like
Crazy, man.
Who
like,
would write the upside down
Experimental
treble
Bach.
clef because he could?
Someone needs to do like EDM plus Bach. I'm sure that already
Ooh,
exists.
shit.
Oh,
but
it does. Yeah,
I'm sure it exists, but those drops would be dumb.
Just like how so many
Dumb.
people sample Jennifer by
Yeah.
Satie, including Pain by Pink Pantheress. There's so many people sample that song.
Pink Panthers got with Skrillex and made something cool recently.
Oh, really?
But I'm taking too much.
Skrillex made something cool. Oh shit,
Dude, dude, Skrillex is imperative to my music.
I'm just kidding.
Ah,
I'm just joking.
Oh boy.
You better
It
be
was just a joke.
Yeah, guys, it's getting kind of hot in here. I'm gonna take off this jacket.
I still
now.
remember him
Oh,
as
shit.
Sonny Moore from first to last.
Yeah, he was in that band before he ever became Skrillex.
But
But anyway, I don't. Y'all go ahead.
R&B, soul, Al Green, Donny Hathaway, Marvin Gaye. Music's just good.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna fight about having more music.
I used to say I listened to anything but country, and then I like found out about like Merle Haggard and Johnny Cash.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
great songwriters.
my boy-
amazing songwriters.
My boy Dylan Wilson, King Lazy Eye, like
Yeah.
fucking goated.
I don't know who that is, but yeah, King.
Yeah. But Ian, what kind of music did your parents listen to?
Well, I mean, as far as my parents go, growing up, like my dad, he listened to a good amount of hard rock and roll. He was really into Rush.
I love Rush.
I think he's seen him 5 times throughout his life, like a few times when he was young and once in 2014 with my brother at Red Rocks
Oh,
in
shit.
Colorado. And he was saying people from all over the world
Yeah.
went to see that show specifically. And, you know, Styx,
Yeah.
Sticks has bangers.
Yeah, dude, I'm all about it.
he saw so many bands when he was younger where $30 in 1980 would not equal, you know, the amount it costs to see a famous band
Mhm.
today
Oh, for sure.
with inflation. But yeah, he saw Scorpions, AC/DC,
Dude, hell yeah.
Queen. I mean, I could be wrong about that, but I think he saw Queen.
He saw the giants of rock. Like, you literally lifted off 3 titans.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, there were other stuff too, like Gordon, the 1992 album by Bare Naked Ladies with the Pepsi logo as the cover. And then
Well,
later
let's
on
go.
in the 2000s, he liked Radiohead before they turned electronic.
Mm.
He listened to Graffiti 6, Gnarls Barkley,
Okay.
Florence and the Machine,
Dude, you've
the
been-
Luminaires.
We've been sleeping on your dad's hipness. If he's messing around with Gnarls Barkley, you know, Danger Mouse and CeeLo Green, and
That's the shit.
Yeah, he listens to Spirit Ritual, you know, bands like that.
Favorite.
Get the shameless plug in now. Get it.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, bro.
Dude,
Dude,
I seem to like it when we
But
shamelessly
then
plug
there's
ourselves.
an underrated Canadian band called 5440 from the sounds kind of like REM from the
Yeah.
80s and 90s,
Word.
and a whole bunch of others, but just to name a few.
Right on, man. That's cool stuff to grow up hearing.
Yeah, man.
I love Rush is a personal favorite for mine just because they're all fucking nerds. Like,
Dude, I
they're-
love
yeah.
it.
that's another band that's just so
Neil
about
Peart, in
what
my
they're
opinion,
doing.
is the best drummer in the world.
Yeah, he's good.
Neil
He's
Peart-
up there.
Neil Peart used to write science fiction novels too. He wrote all the lyrics for Rush. Too.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
He-
except for on the first record because he wasn't in the band yet.
True.
But yet he wrote the lyrics. To
You guys
that
are
one.
heads. I'm realizing you're real music heads.
Yeah, no, for sure, dude. I live and breathe that shit. Like that's just like my brain
makes
absorbs
sense.
trivial
Yeah.
music information and non-trivial too, but mainly trivial.
I'm just all feels, man. That's all these guys.
Jeff,
Oh, yeah.
how about you? What'd you grow up with?
You guys were spoiled. My parents never really played music just for fun. Like I mean, my dad is a really good singer, kind of opera.
Dude, your dad has a beautiful voice.
He does,
Like,
yeah. He has an album out that he put out in
Oh, shit.
2008. It's like what do you call it? Gospel kind of.
Yeah, I'd say like.
Okay.
Pop. he
Yeah.
calls it, I think.
Gospel pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know what Jeff
Gospel.
means. Like,
I don't know if I
that's
consider it
accurate.
gospel, but
That's
I,
what, yeah, it's gospel.
Churchy.
I consider it. Well,
Well, gospel.
Hey,
awesome,
like
man.
you can't
the
be
term for
churchy
that.
but not gospel.
I guess I'm thinking literally like gospel being the R&B feel.
like
Oh,
Aretha,
yeah.
Aretha
No, like-
Franklin.
Like
Yeah.
white Mormon gospel.
Well, for sure.
Like the,
But hey,
I know what you mean.
I'll
Hey,
plug
yeah.
my dad's
No,
album.
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I'd love to listen to that. That's sick.
It's. I mean, Trammell was like, dude, I listened to your dad's album and like put me to tears, dude.
Of course, yeah.
No way,
yeah, our
Trammell.
friend Trammell was like like he's a pretty self-serious. He can be a very like self-serious guy. He has a lot of fun, but if you're making Trammell cry, like you're definitely you put in your hours and you're able to tap in.
It's true.
Shout out Tram.
Shout out Trammell Horton. He's from
Yeah.
St. Louis.
That's our boy.
Yeah,
If
but
you're hearing this, we love you.
Did
I'm gonna
so?
go
Was
take
there
a
like
listen.
gospel music in the house,
yeah, and
or like even at church?
oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Did you like
Hymns and
do
stuff.
Mormons like sing along to the stuff?
Yeah, they do like.
That's how it was for us
hymns
too.
and
Is
stuff.
like
Which
there'd be a
is
song
nice.
playing. My mom plays piano. She's
Yeah.
really talented.
Nice.
She tried to teach me when I was a kid, but I just didn't have the discipline because I had video games.
Straight up.
Like it's got to be tough. That's actually something I talk to like a lot of the artists I have on about is like, how did you have the discipline to like learn an instrument? And it's
Yeah.
either because parents made you or because like not a good situation, like
Yeah.
that's your escape.
Uh-huh.
Like it's one of the two.
Yeah,
Escapism.
for me
Yeah,
it was
escapism. Escapism. Sydney Mays out now.
Like,
yeah. For me, yeah, definitely was sheltered as a kid. You know, I wasn't exposed to just all of the good shit from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, any of that. I was just like kind of blank slate as a kid, I feel like. And, you know, all the radio stations in southern Utah were all either pop or country, and I never really got along with any of that. So I started really starting to get into like alternative rock with this one station when I was like 12 or 13. When I first did like 2 years of learning guitar, and then just went from there. And you know, alternative rock's so broad, and it encompasses indie rock and just all of that. And so I kind of really narrowed down on that genre of like Cage the Elephant, Arctic Monkeys, you know, those like 2010s.
Dude,
like,
those two
bands
that you just
were
named,
fucking-
huge for me.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
Phoenix, like those are the top 3 when
Yes.
I first like Foster the People,
Yes.
you know.
I've seen Cage the Elephant probably more than any other artist.
Really?
Yeah.
How many
Jesus,
times?
5,
Oh shit!
four
I think
or
I've-
5.
I think
Yeah.
I've seen them 3 times.
All of it here.
Wow.
All of it
Oh,
in
really?
Nashville.
I've
Yeah.
I've seen Cage twice. I saw
Yeah.
him once when they played at live on the Green.
I was there for that.
Ooh.
Though, yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool show. And then they played at Bonnaroo one year. I can't remember what year right now, but
That would have been cool.
it was cool. It is the front. I mean, dude, Jeff, I know you know the frontman puts on a freaking show.
Yeah,
dude.
Matt.
Yeah.
Doesn't he still live here?
Does
They're
he?
from Kentucky. I don't know where they're at now.
Yeah, I
You guys
don't-
know
I
All
don't
Them
know that.
Witches?
No.
Yeah,
I
I've
know
heard
of them.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I don't know them, but like All Them, dude, they're from here, but they blew the fuck up. Like
Yeah.
they're
Uh-huh,
global
they
now,
did. Yeah.
doing global tours. But
Nice.
That's cool.
I fucking love All Them Witches too. I'm sorry, but when I think
Similar
Cage the
to
Elephant,
Cage?
for some reason I think All Them
Uh-huh.
Witches.
Yeah.
They're not even that similar. I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
like that's yeah. I'll show you some All Them Witches.
you
Okay.
mentioned
I've
Foster
heard of
the
them.
People.
Yeah.
Their first album, Torches, is one of the most ridiculous,
Yep.
like, first albums for a band to have that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
We
For real.
we had a night when we were out on our patio. We have 2 friends, Alex and Anno, very close friends.
I got it.
And we were just playing the album, and we were like, dude, how good is this? How good is this production? Like the production on that album is amazing. Like the songcraft is great, like the melodies are great, but like the production on that album is like seriously. Go back and listen to like
All of them.
like most of the songs. Just listen to like the textures and the balance of sounds and the palette of all of them. Like by palette, I mean the complexion of
Yeah.
how the music comes together. Like it's fire.
And
It's
for it to be
fire.
their first, it just blows my mind.
Yeah. I say the same about Phoenix, like Bankrupt and Wolfgang Amadeus. Those 2 albums are
Yeah.
so well produced. and
The
First
so-
time I heard Wolfgang Amadeus is from my dad. My dad played it in the car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hip,
dude.
dude, get Kev over.
Kev
Kev over.
He'll be here tomorrow. We're seeing Depeche Mode together tomorrow.
Oh, that's right,
Nice.
dude. Also,
Sweet.
yeah, my dad was a big Depeche Mode fan too.
Yeah.
Depeche Mode's great. Shout out to Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Violator.
Violator's a great.
And that's the only album I've heard by them. It's good.
What did you grow up with?
Well, my dad was like an actual hippie. He grew up in the 60s. So it was all the Beatles, the Stones, Hendrix.
Yeah. Oh.
And Mama was into... She was an 80s kid, so Def Leppard, AC/DC. But it was
It's all
mostly like
good.
also like Christian kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you have to listen to this, but it was like, you know, you listen to this, you know. That
Turn
kind of
that
stuff.
rock and roll on.
Yeah. Well,
Unless I'm drunk.
she. But they were, you know, she was cool about it. So
Hell yeah.
I was very fortunate to be exposed to that.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, you grew up with classics. I asked you that last time you were here, or the first time you were here.
But y'all are mentioning like Tame Impala, Tears for Fears, some of my biggest influences ever.
Yes.
Let's see, Metallica, Jimi Hendrix, 21 Pilots. Those are my favorites.
Oh, that's
of all
cool.
time. Yeah.
Nice.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
My girlfriend grew up in outside of Cleveland.
Nice.
And
Well, outside of
21
Pittsburgh.
Pilots, that too, yes. 21 Pilots is from somewhere up there,
Columbus, I think.
Youngstown or something, or Canton.
I didn't know that.
Westerville,
Yeah.
somewhere up there.
Oh yeah.
So she was like there from the early days, you know. And by the time they got big, I think that's when she started being like, oh, it's not as cool anymore because it's not like intimate anymore, I guess. That's kind of why I like house shows and stuff because
Yeah.
even if we have big bands over, it's still like right there, and it doesn't feel as disconnected when there's like a big stage.
Sure.
Yeah.
And all the
It's intimate's
Well
a good way
said.
of putting it because
Yeah.
like the shows you guys put on are just very like close knit. Like
Mhm.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with blowing up, but there's something nice about that like local small
Yeah.
grassroots kind of stuff.
Yeah, I feel like the early stages of any band are very precious and yeah. And whether we gain a big following over time or not, I don't really care. I just enjoy the process of creating and providing an atmosphere for people to truly live in the moment
It's a
and like
great
have an
attitude.
intimate experience with not only themselves but with the people around them.
You guys have time for 2 more questions?
Gotcha.
Is that
man.
all right?
No.
Yeah.
I'd love to have you guys
Yeah.
back again sometime.
Yeah.
So,
man.
so
Sure,
if-
man.
okay, cool.
We could talk about God and religion and
Oh,
music
man.
for
This is
years.
this is what we
Yeah.
Good.
This is all of our
Okay, cool.
conversations, man. Like, you know, we used to
It's
all
that time, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
I gotta
10
take my,
o'clock.
gotta take my pill.
I'm gonna head out.
I just snoozed it. You're good.
hitting the old
Yeah.
dusty
Ask away.
trail.
What
Cool.
you got for us?
we'll go back this way now. Start with Sydney. What have you been listening to in like the last week? Well, let's make it like rapid fire. Name 3 artists you listened to in like, or 1
I'm
to
gonna have pull
3.
up my history.
1 to 3 artists listened to last week.
The Cure. I feel like Patrick Starr. Oh.
You listen to Patrick Starr?
24. No.
A chicken, a turkey, a pizza.
Yeah.
No, now it's
Roast
now
beef, chicken, and pizza.
That's it. That's it.
A roast beef, a chicken.
That's correct.
No, Patrick. I mean just this morning.
A roast beef.
Chicken and pizza.
Dude, it's so funny. We also we we used to watch. Sometimes we used to watch SpongeBob. I'm so sorry, Sydney. We used to watch SpongeBob at the end of the
for
night,
what?
and but now Connor and I watch South Park. So
That's
y'all are
like-
hitting all the right notes in the key right now.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I think we just became best friends.
Oh, we did.
Best friends?
That's the brothers reference. Hell yeah.
You want to do karate?
No, but
Did you trust my drum set?
So the Cure.
The Cure, Cage the Elephant, Tame Impala.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
yeah.
Me within the past week.
What was that artist you showed me in the car? It was really good.
Oh yeah, Triathlon.
Yeah, they're
I
good.
was listening to their latest album like all day today. The 1975. They're
Mhm,
playing here
mhm.
soon. I'm gonna try to be there. And I want to say Tame Impala because they're awesome, but let me think of another. Broncho. They're weird as fuck, but they're nerdy and weird and fun and cool.
Right on.
They're from Oklahoma, Arkansas. They're from
Arkansas.
Arkansas. Kansas
Ah.
with an R. Alright, your turn.
All right. This past
Kansas with an
week-
AR.
Yeah. Oh.
Nice.
Black Moth Super Rainbow, Floor Cry, an artist based out of Winnipeg, and LA-based band The Doors.
Never heard of them.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. I mean, when you don't hear their hits, which you hear too many times, they have some
Oh
good
yeah,
songs.
they got some deep cuts for sure.
Oh, they
Yeah.
do.
Did you ever hear that album they did after Jim Morrison died? It was like a bunch of his poetry. I can't remember what that's
No,
called.
not yet.
I forgot what it's called.
The Doors I've only just recently gotten into. I wish I did earlier, but I haven't gotten to that point yet.
Dude, there's an album like he did a lot of like spoken word poetry, just recorded it, and then the band after he died did an accompaniment to it, and it's so good.
That's cool.
It's so good. It's like just like stream of consciousness shit a lot of the time. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hunter, what you got?
You said 3.
Yeah, 1 to 3.
Yeah. The Avalanches. You ever heard of them?
Mm-mm.
They're really cool. Their debut record called Since I Left You is all made from different samples, but it's more electronic and like, I wouldn't call it ambient, but give it a listen to. The Avalanches have 3, as far as I know, 3 records out. They're all fire. Lot of Jay-Z recently. Like I just been Connor and I watched the Kanye documentary recently, and that like kind of like rekindled my like Kanye and Jay-Z kind of back and forth. So the Black Album, Blueprint,
444.
444 is really good.
It's my favorite of his.
So underrated. Like yeah, dude, that's such a good record. And Reasonable Doubt, of course, American Gangster. So, and then Geese too. They came up with an album called 3D Country.
Wait, not Goose?
No, Goose is. Yeah, Goose is a different band. Goose is like jam band.
Okay,
right?
no, I didn't know if that's what you meant.
Yeah, Natalia and Raceland have been trying to put me on Goose for a while.
Yeah, but Geese just came out. Yeah, it was this year with an album called 3D Country. Awesome album. And Radiohead.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude. Jeff and I actually got Jeff and I for part-time jobs we clean houses and I mean it's not just houses, it's sometimes like schools, but this guy that we were cleaning the house together with, at the end of it he just gave us vinyl copies of Kid A. I'm sorry, not Kid A, but OK Computer. OK Computer.
Oh yeah.
He just had 10 like for free that he got. His wife
chilling.
got him 1 for Christmas, but 10 arrived from Amazon.
Oh
By
shit.
accident.
And he was
Yeah.
like,
Don't tell him. Don't
He
tell him.
was telling us
Yeah.
how he was talking to his wife. It was like, should we just like send him back? And they're
Fuck
like,
no.
Nah.
That's awesome.
Such a good album.
So
That is
he
a good
just-
album.
We were talking with him.
Masterpiece.
The client.
Is that the one Paranoid Androids from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like. There's never been a Radiohead record I dislike.
Wait, is Morning Bell on that one?
Morning Bill's on Kid A.
Oh, that's
And
right.
then a reprise on Amnesiac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, every song on OK Computer is like each
Yeah.
song is great in its own way, and
They're okay.
they're
I was just kidding.
they're like okay.
No,
But-
they're great.
I'm sure everyone listening to this has probably already heard OK Computer, but listen to it again, man.
It's a good record.
Listen to Head of the Thief. Listen to.
I haven't listened to that one yet, so that's definitely on my.
That
Which one
is
did they
underrated.
crowdsource? Do you remember?
In Rainbow.
In Rainbows. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
In Rainbow's
Such a
my
good-
favorite.
That's like one of the very first crowdsourced records, or the very first, something like that.
Yeah.
Do we
They
cover-
changed. They changed the game on that.
They
did.
do. We
They
cover
did.
Weird Fishes all the time.
Really?
It's one of our favorite covers.
Yeah.
Jeff, do y'all ever
Hell
cover
yeah, dude.
Tame Impala?
Oh, we need to, dude.
Yeah.
We've
Oh
been-
my
about
god,
it.
that
We
would be
talked about
awesome.
it.
It's been
I-
talked
yeah.
about.
I would love to cover eventually, or The Less I Know The Better, or
Here's the
Could.
here's the
Be
hard
Above
thing.
It.
Here's the hard thing. It's deciding which one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
sure.
like all of them
there's
are
so
like
many ones.
anthemic, but
Yes.
also beautiful, but also like packaged and made in a way that's so digestible. Like
That would be
it's
hard as hell.
Oh,
If we
I would
put in
love
lots
to
of
do
hours.
Let It Happen, dude. I could easily. do
Yeah,
that
I have the
fucking-
vocoder.
Nice.
that'd be a
Yeah, I was
tough
about
one.
to just mention that actually.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are like one of the coolest fucking bands. Like just the like the coolest people and like the coolest to see.
Yep.
Also, like
Thanks, man.
I interviewed a lot of artists. I'm not trying to talk shit about them either, but like you guys are very fucking talented for one thing. But you love what you do. Like after your Dark Matter show, I came back to Twisted Tea Garden. You guys were just jamming out.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
are just jam. That's what you guys fucking do. And I, like,
Oh
it's,
yeah, we
it's
always
awesome.
end every house show with an open jam.
We do.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's
Which,
our ritual, our spirit.
It's your
spirit.
Ah,
Dude,
ba-doom.
Earlier when we were all saying the word spirit, I wanted to say like, dude, I'm so glad that no one has tried to fucking horseshoe spirit ritual.
And then I
me.
did.
Yeah, you did it.
But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It works better this way. It's
Yeah.
better this way.
Yeah, man.
So, what have you listened to last week?
Let's see, early Kanye, because like Hunter said prior, we watched the documentary. So like, what's it called? College Dropout, late registration, graduation.
Late registration is.
So good. Let's see, what else? The Voids, Virtue is a really good album. If y'all don't know, The Voids is Julian Casablanca from The Strokes. It's his side project. Super, super good. A lot of really interesting tones in there. And then what else? My homie Nick Horton put me on a band called Tatran. It's Tatran, and they're super talented. It's a 3-piece band, just from what I've heard, purely instrumental, but they're just really fucking talented.
Right on.
Yeah.
I love instrumental music sometimes.
Me too. I grew up making like electronic, and in college it was actually like I made beats and always had friends that just wanted to rap on it, so that's why community was important. So like I like the idea of inferring meaning without lyrics. I love lyrics, don't get me wrong, but something about the intimacy of not having lyrics and leaving room for interpretation is just
one of you said like music is a universal language, and like you don't like, you can explain, it is a language. You can explain something without words.
you can explain something with feeling and intuition.
Yeah.
Those are two feelings that I grip onto whenever. That was a hard P.
Dude, yeah, dude, keep
Great.
the hard beat. Keep the hard beat.
That like when I play with these dudes.
I got a hard P right now. Nah, man, son.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
I'd like to thank my sponsor, Coors Light.
and
For
warm
this
people
blasphemy.
and warm
Is that
PBR.
This
And Mickey
rhetoric.
Mouse.
Is that even mine?
Huh?
Is that
This
even-
is mine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd like to thank
Another
Reed,
one?
Carolina, and Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
I'd like to
I'll take one.
But yeah,
Red-
dude,
I think-
intuition and emotion.
I think
Rap.
that was
I
the last
grip.
one.
Oh,
I
You
grip
guys still
onto
have
those things.
to waterfall share it.
You want a waterfall? That you
Sorry, Ian.
sure. No, you're
You
good.
could pour half of it into one of your
But no, dude,
vacant
that's true.
ones.
That is
But
also
yeah.
A lot
that's
of
true.
times words just fail.
Yeah, man, they really
Yeah.
do. Sometimes you just like that's my biggest voice. Cause
Well-
like growing up, I didn't really have a voice like that. But when I started making music, I was like, oh, this is my prime form of expression. I don't like. I try to be a light or joy to others, but like the music is what touches, right?
If I could, once Connor's done, I have a question of my own.
I'm
I'd
done.
like to ask.
Go ahead.
I'm not trying to. Do I have time? Ask one
Yeah.
quick question.
You still have 3 to. But
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Do you have 3 artists that you've been listening to? Plug that in real
Oh.
quick.
Yeah,
Should have thought about this before I asked it.
Dude, I did go look at my Spotify at my recently played.
I
Me
did.
too.
I did too.
Oh,
I didn't.
I know.
I didn't.
My favorite band, I've been listening to my favorite record by my favorite band, Margot and the Nuclear So-and-Sos.
Whoa.
Never heard of them.
They're dark indie, very folk, depressing. They're from
I'm with that.
Indianapolis, I think.
Oh, that's why.
They're like they're like a 7-piece band. They don't tour. For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But man, they're like a studio band, dude, and my favorite band. Like, there's not a lot of mediums of art where I can like pick a favorite, but they are my favorite band. They're very personal to me. If you guys don't know Margot and the Nuclear So-and-Sos, Dust of Retreat is my favorite album, but they're like also one of those bands that has like this extensive catalog, and the reason I can say they're my favorite band is because I've never heard anything they've done that I didn't like. I'm like,
Awesome.
Nice. That's a big
That's hard to
compliment.
find.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
is.
Margot and the Nuclear So-and-Sos, Dust of Retreat, been listening to that album. Oh, someone just told me about, I've been listening to Clay from Big Jed's Big Rigs, was just here,
Oh.
was telling me about, what is it? It's Magnolia...
Crooked Magnolia? No.
It's like
No. Magnolia something
here.
company.
Yeah.
What's the name of that
find it.
band? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
It's the one they have the album cover with like the owl with like the
Yep.
sideways.
You know
head.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Magnolia Electric Company.
Yeah, what's the name of the artist
Oh.
or the band?
Songs.
Songs. colon Ohio.
Oh, Ohio. It's like
Ohio.
Ohia.
Yeah. Songs Ohio Magnolia Electric Company.
Magnolia Electric Company.
Yeah, I've been listening to that. That's very similar to Margot and the Nuclear So-and-So's.
Yeah, I love some
Depressing
Midwestern
indie folk music.
Some Midwestern music and
and I don't know Jeffrey. Memphis pimp rap. It's so different.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, that'll be my 3. So what were you gonna say?
So Sydney, to Connor's, Sydney said something earlier, in reference to Connor's point about, listening to music that are instrumental, they're just purely music because there's an intuition there and a level of imagination you have to go into it with. And Sydney said failure of words, and that kind of brought me to me wanting to ask you guys, have you guys ever had a mystical experience? The reason why I bring that up is because for me, the way I define it, the way it is to me, it doesn't have to be drug induced. If you want to go that way, if you want to go that route, it can. But I think it can exist outside of that. But to me, it's the mystical is everything that the words can't touch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
You know?
yeah, well, very well said.
Yeah.
That's we're talking
Beyond
about things that are
words.
beyond words, and you're
Yeah.
using words to describe it, which is cool.
Yeah.
You're there's a poetry
very,
to
very
that.
meta of us.
I write
Pointing
poetry.
At the moon, but we don't realize it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I write poetry, and I'm working on a fantasy novel right now, and I love, hardcore fantasy. It's my thing, Tolkien, Game of Thrones. Reading The Vor right now for book club, which is fucking nuts.
Go off, dog. Go off.
But describing the unexplainable is there's such an art to that.
There is.
Music does that.
Music does
That's
that.
kind of what we were talking about.
Yeah,
Yes, I've had. It's funny you would ask that because that was kind of my next question for you guys. I was gonna ask if you guys have any ghost stories, but I always caveat that by saying I don't really mean ghosts, like a spiritual experience, like you're describing.
Yeah.
I've had many that I've gone into detail with on the show before. Not until I went looking for it. I was 18, very much an atheist, and then me and my partner at the time, we were just kind of okay, well, let's fuck around and find out. We don't believe in this shit. Let's see what the fuck is out there. And I think she
the Ouija board.
literally, bro.
Yeah.
That was my. These stories have been told a million times on this show, so I'll kind of keep it. I'll tell you about it later.
Sure.
But
Okay.
yes, I've had many drug induced, non-drug induced, both. DMT is probably the most out there spiritual experience one can have.
Yeah.
Possible.
I still haven't done that.
I have not
Same.
done. I have
Okay.
not done DMT.
I'm
yet.
on
That's-
SSRIs.
So that'll be. Yeah, no, maybe not. So that'll be my answer. Is I'll tell you guys about my last DMT trip. So I used to be super pro advocate, yeah, everyone should try DMT. Now I'm I don't know, because the last time I think there's a real danger. I do not believe I've done DMT dozens of times. I used to allegedly I used to have a roommate that made it, so I had a steady access to it. So
Allegedly.
allegedly,
So that's
Yeah.
rumor has it.
yeah.
It's just a rumor.
So I've been told.
it.
Rumor has it. But the last time I did DMT, that's not true. The last time I did DMT was recently, but it was very low dose, mixed with weed and salvia. So I don't count that.
Shit.
That- let's say the last breakthrough experience I
It's
had
a little salad right
was
there.
It's
salad bowl.
It's you just do it and it's just dial-up tone to your ancestors.
You got croutons. You got fucking.
I am convinced at this point that DMT is not a hallucination. I think DMT is a vehicle. They call it a place drug because you go somewhere, and that's if you take enough, you will fucking leave your body. And I think that's exactly what happens. Is you're not hallucinating. You are ripped out, and where you go is completely. I don't know that there's any way to pilot that. You go somewhere, and I don't think you have any control of that. I've had some very profound spiritual experiences. I've had abstract experiences where I'm like, there's no meaning to this, but it's so alien. I've had
like an anomaly almost, like
Yeah.
an anomaly that you, right?
and the last time I did it though, I went to this place where it was like a square room and it was black and white. Have you guys seen 2001: A Space Odyssey?
Oh hell yeah!
I have not.
So,
I saw that in theaters, like the Belcourt and.
I was gonna say at the
show.
Belcourt, yeah.
Yeah.
Not in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys would have a lot more questions to ask me.
Yeah. So you're a time traveler.
Yeah. Or a grand con artist.
You're aging very well.
Yeah, I'm basically Benjamin Button, bro.
But the last, okay, so it was like Jeff's shoes. It was black and white checkers.
Oh, okay.
Like those vans, those classic vans, bro. Let's talk about those classic vans.
$5.
I
You
see
said
him
we paid
everywhere
for
I
it.
go.
Hell yeah. I had a friend who had the same pair, and he like colored in
Oh
the
yeah.
different checkers.
That's
I need
cute.
to do that.
It was cute.
It was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a room that was black and white checkers, and there was cracks in the walls, and you could see like outer space outside of it. So this room just exists.
That's so cool.
And like in retrospect, I'm like, oh, that's like 2001: A Space Odyssey. When he goes to the wormhole at the very end, and he's in that place where he meets God. You know what I'm talking about?
No, yeah, you're talking about the ending scene. Like I think it's referred to as like the Star Child scene. Well, it's the one right before that where they show like the giant. Like,
He's in the room with the old man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right before they show like the giant, almost like plasma-like child, and they zoom
Floating
out.
above the earth.
Yeah, I just called that the Star Child
Right
scene.
before that. Yeah.
Right. That movie, I actually watched that movie on a drug-induced spiritual experience, and I watched that with two of my really close friends, yeah, I was like, damn, Kubrick describes metaphors frame by frame.
And
Like,
they killed him for it. But
Kubrick?
yeah,
Is that like a conspiracy?
he was. That's a whole rabbit hole. Eyes Wide Shut
Like
was
in the
his
show?
last film.
Right.
Alice, write that
Talking
down.
about-
We'll talk about it later.
The final cut of Eyes Wide Shut never made it. We'll never see it. What we got was not what he made. And he's talking about Hollywood elite doing ritual, and the stuff that's described in there is the scene, the ritual scene. If you guys have seen it, I have heard people in Hollywood, like watching interviews, people say that it's very much like that, except everyone's covered in blood and they're sacrificing someone. So he's like, he's being an edgelord. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking expose you. And
Yeah, I've heard like people describe Kubrick as like a misanthrope, which just like is essentially like someone who has like a perverse, almost like morbid view of humanity. I don't think that at all, man. I think he just says it like it.
He's
think
saying
a
what it is.
Really honest person.
Have you ever seen Dr. Strangelove, the
Of
black
course,
and white film?
I'm a huge Kubrick
Okay.
fan. Like I had a giant Kubrick collection when I was a kid.
They're talking about fluoride in the water in the fucking 60s in Dr. Strangelove. Like the crazy dude who has the...
Yeah, that mafia. Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy. Who's Peter Sellers plays 3 different roles
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
movie. Yeah,
Best actor ever.
yeah.
Oh,
he's
man.
My dad met him.
Your dad met Peter Sellers?
Sure did.
What?
My dad grew up in Burbank, and his brother ran the Palomino Club, which in that area was a super happening place. And people like Peter Sellers, oh God, what was her name? The singer chick. Yeah, no good. Linda Ronstadt. People like that were in and out all the time.
Holy shit.
And Daddy said when he spoke, it was such a high level of intelligence, like you could barely understand him.
Wow.
I remember him telling me that specifically.
Where was
bet.
this?
It was the Palomino Club.
He said,
No, where was that?
Oh,
Where was it?
California.
Carry the 4 algebra.
California.
Calculus.
Oh.
Not
Right.
to derail the convo.
No,
Nah,
yeah,
dude.
DMT trip.
Back to
Yeah.
the DMT.
Yeah.
So I'm in a black and white room. It's in space. You can see a space
Cracks.
outside the room. There's
Yeah.
vines coming through the floor, like cracks in the
Oh,
walls.
yeah.
But like what they're attached to, there's no dirt.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just floating in space. There's a fountain in the center of the room. Still, like the stream's coming down, but it's
Calm.
like paused.
Oh.
So my disembodied spirit just kind of like, oh, what's that? Go check out this fountain. And as I'm looking at this fountain, I never saw it, but I feel this thing, this huge thing approaching from way off. And then it comes closer and closer, and then finally just washes over me like a wave. And I like am hanging. This is, I think, part of the discomfort is I'm trying to hang on to my ego, but this thing washes over me, and it's just a carnival of unexplainable lights and sounds, and it's so overpowering that it's like you can't hang on to anything. Like you're just part of this thing now. And I'm like, this is so amazing. This is the best thing I've ever felt. And nothing, I want to be clear, nothing ever gave me a feeling like I was in danger. But there was a voice in the back of my head that was like, maybe this is too good. Like heroin. Like maybe this is...
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't good for me, even though this is amazing. I'm like, hey... And I'm also aware that this is an entity. This experience I'm having is an entity. And I'm like, can you give me some kind of indication, just some kind of like clear the air that you're not trying to hurt me? And the experience I'm having, it's not one thing that I'm looking at. It's the whole experience. It's just kind of like, I don't know, maybe I am. And I'm like, at that point, I'm like, okay, fuck you. Now we're fighting. And I'm like, no, fuck that. So I open my eyes and like pull myself out of this experience. I'm at the height of a breakthrough trip, and I'm like I open my eyes. I'm like trying to ground myself. Like, nope, this isn't happening. And my poor like friend Danny, the one the Bible historian I was telling you about earlier, is sitting next to me. Poor guy. And I open my eyes, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, I think I'm fighting for my life. I'm like...
Is he trying to like throw you a lifeline, like, you know, like trying to throw out the life preserver?
He went right before I did, so he's still kind of recovering from his experience. So, allegedly.
Respectfully, too.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, he may or may not have done DMT right before me. But, like, Danny's trying to...
Are the feds going to get these tapes, man? Like,
nah,
I don't.
Can't be proven.
Bro, fucking come at me. Let's fucking go.
You won't find any fingerprints.
Yeah,
dude, that's what the shadow figure
brain
was.
holes.
It's the tyrannical nature of the government constantly invading into your privacy in every nook and cranny.
Bro, DMT is a metaphor for the government. Yes. Well, government is a religion. I think we talked about that earlier. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Go on.
So I'm trying to ground I open my eyes, and my visuals have not backed down at all. Like, now it's just overlaid on top of my reality. So, like, I'm seeing, like, eyeballs pop in and out of, like, my friend Danny, and also my furniture. And, like, this is one of, like, 25 DMT trips I've had.
Oh.
This is just this is the one that makes me not hesitate to do it again. But, I'm, like, I start going, like, I'm trying to ground myself. I'm like, me! Like, I exist. And as I'm saying that, like, my visuals back down in real time. Whoa. And I'm like, I start to see, like, reality for what it is. And I'm like, oh, that's what spellcasting is. Like, I'm speaking reality into existence right now.
Yeah.
And I'm fighting this thing, and I'm like, I'm pissed off. Because I'm like, this thing is trying to, at the time, you know, I don't know what the fuck happened. Maybe I was just tripping balls. But, like, I thought, like, I was under attack. Like, it was trying to take what I am and, like, engulf it. And
words are powerful, man.
Yeah. So I'm
100%.
like, oh, yeah. I have some very spiritual experiences with magic, not on psychedelics, too. But this is only when I went looking for it. I never experienced anything weird as a kid. But if you go... I'll tell you right now, if you go looking for it, you will find it.
Yes.
You will find whatever you go looking for, right? Because you're a very powerful entity yourself. But anyway, I recovered from that, and I was like, I'm done with this.
That sounds like an extremely intense experience that probably had like a lot of personal meaning for you too, but you know, like Sid's saying, like words are powerful, and so, you know, psychedelics themselves make you realize the inner dialogue that's really happening inside of you,
Yeah.
and it makes you really aware of how you're treating yourself. Like I had moments when I had like I would take LSD, and it'd be pretty normal. Like I'm a pretty middle of the road guy. Like I don't really get too high or too low. I try to keep myself kind of firmly in the middle. I try to straddle the middle, but like LSD would force me, you know, almost like force me into these experiences of like, you know, oh man, like why'd you fucking hit your car wheel like angry, like at road rage, or like what is that? What, you know, it makes you contend with those things that you didn't really potentially want to see, or at times, yeah. And it's like it's introspection, but it's because of the induced. I don't want to call it severity, but the induced nature of it, like you're put into a place of like contending with it, maybe in a realm without words. Like you're having to use conviction of your will, not just in words. Like, and like when you were saying like, yo, I exist, dude, I am here, like that was reaffirming to you in a way that made you like level out, I guess, you know, see more reality.
I felt like I was fighting something, man, and I'm like,
I've had those experiences too.
I'm not
man,
entirely
like,
convinced that that's not what's happening. So that's why I'm kind of like, you can have the most profound meet God experience on DMT, and then you can find other things too. And I'm like, I don't advocate for it the way I did before. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm definitely not saying that either.
But you realize like, oh, there's another
there might be a
side.
danger to this.
There's like a
do. All I know is I don't understand this. I have no
Yeah.
idea what the fuck that is.
Makes me think of the Mind Flayer from Stranger Things.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the new season. I just want it to be out already.
I know.
So
yeah, I'm so excited.
have you ever had not a ghost story, but something you can't explain, something spiritual, something beyond words?
Something mystical.
Explain something beyond words.
Let's see. When I was still like predominantly Christian and I was breaking up, I had broken up with my ex-girlfriend. She, my first love, she had cheated on me, and she broke up with me before then, and then we got back together, and then I found out she cheated on me, so broke up with her, and we were still trying to make it work. And I just remember I was very Christian and listening to scripture, and I heard the piece of scripture that was like, you know, iron sharpens iron, like nothing else. And then while I was talking about that, I looked outside and there was a stump with an axe in it. And it was really profound. And it was like, to me, to this day, it's like, that wasn't like a God message, that was like a spiritual message, if that makes sense. It's like, you know, like, if something in my life isn't sharpening me, then it needs to be omitted.
Yeah.
And that, to me, was a very spiritual experience.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I think you're talking about not like a God thing, but a spiritual thing.
It was.
A side note, one DMT trip I had, I was shown, like not explained, but like shown that like we're all the same person. And you know, this is a drug trip, so take that with a grain of salt.
Sure.
But we're all the same person,
Yeah.
and we're experiencing ourself through different angles, because being just one thing is very sad and lonely.
Yeah.
So we come down here to forget that. So forget I just said that. So
Community.
yeah.
There's
right.
there's like an old line of poetry. I forget who it's written by. I really do. I can't recall it, but it's like I contain multitudes, and it's like. Did you guys ever feel like when you were younger you had a greater access to like a spiritual or like mystical experience? Because like you know what I mean? Because like when you're an adult, you have to contend with reality on a more day-to-day basis.
Oh,
and
for sure.
You get more resilient, but you also kind of start blocking things out. You start getting more like on the
grown up.
Yeah, grown up. Just, you know, like interpret that how you will. But you know, I had these experiences as a kid where I'd see people very different from me, and I'd just like reflect on it and be like, what's the difference between you and I? Like, obviously it's a temperamental thing, it's a genetic thing, like there's a lot of undercurrents that we can't control that influence who we are, but there's also as a kid, I think you're more impressionable.
That's what it is. Yeah. When you're an adult, you have this frame of the world that's constructed, so like you're not as open to possibility, which psychedelics kind of shake that.
They do, because I would have like, I guess you would call it spiritual moments. Like, I would call it revelations, like personal revelations.
Yeah.
Because you have to earn revelations, and it has to come with like.
As a trial of fire, yeah.
It's the fruit. It's the fruit of meditation. And
well said.
Meditation, not just in like meditating, but meditating, both in introspection and also
With purpose.
with purpose. Yes, like in a deliberate way of like going in and being like, here, I don't know the answers, but I want to know the truth, and I want to know my truth as best I can, and I want to relate it to people in a healthy way, to where it maybe encourages them to like, yo, be your honest self. What do you think? I think we can have differences, but honestly, there's more convergences than there are divergences. I feel like in a lot of ways. Like, I mean, you can even see that in political parties. A lot of them want, like, a lot of them gravitate because they value things more. Their value system is weighted differently. Economic freedom versus like personal expression freedom versus like Republican versus Democrat.
Social, economic,
or conservative
different
versus
kind of
liberal.
things.
Yeah. And it's just it's a trip, man. Like, I think about that. I don't really talk about that, like, but I feel like in childhood you have all these super personable experiences, and in a way, like, adulthood is like almost like trying to confirm those, and like obviously you change, but I think there's a part of your temperament and yourself that is very stable as you grow older too.
Our experiences and also like our institutions condition us to be a certain way.
Yes.
And once you're in this mold, you're in this mold. So like you're not, but like a child has no. You're boundless. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I experienced the Holy Spirit as going to church. Right?
Yep.
But I didn't know that until I had experienced other spirits, and I'm like, oh, that's the same feeling as I experienced when I was a kid. I didn't know it at the time, but like, that's, yeah.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. Like, it really is. Like, in a way, like, even the thematic rise and fall of like childhood into adulthood, like that encompasses so much art and what art is there for, like coming of age stories, like, and how you preserve what you initially saw as a child and what you thought the world needed, and how you preserve that into adulthood, and you manifest it and you make it into a manageable thing. Like, and that's what, like, sometimes when we talk about mystical and spiritual experiences, like, people, especially more skeptical people, which I'm a skeptic myself. I think it's important to keep a healthy level of skepticism around ideas, but like that word is like has like a dirty connotation in a way.
No, you should be scientific about it. It's like
right, empiric evidence.
Yeah.
You need empiric evidence.
A friend of mine pointed out to me.
Have value.
Yeah. I have a friend that's very logic based. I would say he might disagree, but I'd say he's more like on the atheist side of things. But something he pointed out to me is like, well, maybe spirits are physical, but it's on a sensor of like how we can't see infrared. That doesn't mean we won't come up with a technology where we can't physically observe these things, and they're marked on things. And
like,
if that's the
case, like, detect gravitational waves and fucking black holes. Like,
if spirits are a physical thing that's just beyond the 5 senses we have, there are already tools in place to experience these things. Psychedelics, tarot, scripture. Like,
crystals.
we already have tools, ancient tools for monitoring these things. So, yeah. Jeff, do you have any ghost stories or spiritual experiences?
Ooh.
Something you can't explain?
I've never seen what I could identify as like a ghost or a spirit, but I've I've done a fair amount of psychedelics, and I would definitely call those spiritual experiences. When people ask me if, like, do you believe there's a higher power? I'm like, well, I think you can access a higher, like, power, you know. People think of higher as, like, above, but I think of it as, like, not only beyond, but, like, within.
Yeah.
When I think
We're
of,
that higher power.
Yeah, right. And I think psychedelics help you understand things that...
And become aware of things, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if it seems like nonsense, like, oh, I've been playing this beautiful chord for 2 hours and I'm one with it, that's still very, like, there's a lot of power in that, and realizing how...
May or may not have done that before.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
I've done that many times.
So they say.
Yeah, man. It's funny. That's also what every religion in the world says.
Mhm.
People don't understand it, but like, Jesus, I'm the Son of God, is really just him saying like, I'm God and I'm aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm God made flesh, and he's saying I'm not special. You're that too. So treat other people the way you want to be treated, because you are God and so are they. This blade of grass is God.
Yeah.
Buddhism, every religion says this same fucking thing, and it's what we're talking about.
It's that, it's that divinity.
Accessing that higher state, because the fact of the matter is you are God, and what's scary about that is even people you don't like or disagree with, they're God too. So that's that. Where we're supposed to put that, like, it's actually there's nothing comforting about this. It's actually fucking terrifying. There is nothing else except us. We got to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
We got to take responsibility. That's where that's where I disagree with my parents. I have a good healthy relationship with my parents where I talk about like this kind of shit to my mom. Like I explain my DMT trips to her, even though she's very conservative Christian. I don't hold anything back from. I have a healthy relationship.
So,
with
Mom,
them.
you know 2001: A Space Odyssey, right?
Pretty much. I'm sure they get kind of tired of it, but I'm like, that's talking about Revelations. It's like, God has a plan. Everything's gonna work out. I agree with you, but we're that plan. Like, you have to do something. If you don't take action, then the world just goes to shit. And I think that's kind of the disconnect there. Is like, yeah, there is a resolution to everything, but only if we act on it.
Yeah,
We're instrumental in that.
Absolutely. Pivotal. There's like a line that Kendrick Lamar says in Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I think it's off the song Die Hard, and it's one of the guest vocals saying, I hope you see the God in me. And I always wondered, like, when I first listened to the album and in my subsequent listens afterwards, I'm like, why didn't he say the good? Because everyone just says the good, but he said, like, he specifically made a word that is literally one letter away from good, and he chose God, because I think...
That's beautiful.
There's like a, I think Kendrick is like...
Kendrick's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he's not like Kanye where he's like, yo, I'm gonna put a song called I Am a God on my fucking follow-up to my biggest album. He's more like, I want this to be like a subtle message, but I want people to take away something from it where it's like, if you really think about it, you're responsible for you, and what is God typically seen as? Like, Jeff was talking about like, you both were talking about like, kind of like a patriarchal perception of God, like, and that's like the king presiding over the kingdom. You take that idea as it is, and I think it's true. Like
the judge over the court.
Right, and like you have the ability to act on what you're thinking and what you're doing, but it's all stream of consciousness. Like you can't all act at everything you want to do all at once. You have to make it a processional thing, and that's
ritual, man. That's
spirit ritual.
Plug in.
Nice.
That's you have to do something. That's magic. That's spellcasting. You have all of this in your head, but when you bring it into the physical, when you take what's in here and you have to actually do something, like physically do something. That is ritual. and that's spell casting. Magic is, people don't believe in magic because it's like right here. Like I'm making these lip flaps and somehow you guys understand what I'm saying. That's telepathy. That's magic.
For sure, but if you're
magic
speaking a different
is-
language, you would have to like break it down, like
Yeah.
go to the basics, the fundamentals, like what you're saying to
And
even
that's
understand your
music is magic for that reason. It's actually a truer form of spirit ritual is that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of power in that, and you know, for someone to listen to a song, whether they're experiencing it live at the venue or with their headphones or whatever, there's a lot of I think it's a very precious thing to to transfer that kind of energy to someone, and like, for example,
vibration.
like when I listen to a song and it makes me cry, like I did earlier today.
What
there's
song?
so much
Which song
power
is it?
in that.
Sandstorm by Gerudo.
Gerudo? What?
Or a song that gives you goosebumps. That's like,
Yeah.
that's magic
Yeah,
right there.
Goosebumps
Oh,
by
for sure,
Travis
man.
Scott.
You know,
Good song.
this song
The love
by
version.
the fucking neighborhood. Baby
Yeah.
Come Home, or whatever it's called, from Wiped Out.
Cigarette.
No,
Yeah, The
that one
Neighborhood.
does not make me cry. But
Really? That's such a sweet
it's a good song.
Come a little closer at the end makes me cry.
Yeah.
That is a
And,
really good outro.
Like,
Really good
especially
closure.
for, dudes who aren't in touch with their feminine side. Like, music has so much power. If like, a
Yeah.
song can make the machoest dude
Don't
ever,
feel it. Don't
like,
feel it.
right?
Don't connect.
Anthony,
Don't connect.
You just cry. It's a release.
Yeah.
It's you letting go and being vulnerable. With
Absolutely.
yourself,
Well said.
Yeah. But I've never seen Ghosts. I've never seen.
I've never
things,
seen
but I
anything
hear-
not on
I hear
drugs.
things differently.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially on psychedelics. So.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's usually more of a feeling thing for me,
Right.
unless it's DMT where you actually literally go somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Which I want to do some DMT someday.
May or may not be able to help you with that. Allegedly. Ian, you got any ghost stories?
I do
Supernatural
not have your
experiences?
Well,
Fix that too.
Just- a couple dreams I had where people who have died were in them,
Oh.
and then it felt like I was actually with them,
Yeah.
Damn.
like that. But yeah, like my grandfather, I had a dream with him in there, and I was like, wait, but you're dead. But then I didn't question it. But then I had another one with Skylar where we were just hanging out.
And to contextualize, Skylar is Skylar Rippey that we mentioned earlier.
Our old drummer.
Our old drummer, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, he passed away.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you.
I've had both of them in my dreams before, where it's kind of like I knew they were dead in the dream, but I didn't like have the concept of time or
Yeah.
space or anything.
Totally. Yeah. It's almost like you're free floating.
Mhm.
Like, there's really, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like the voices would be exactly the same, you know, the mannerisms, the cadence, all of that stuff. And then I'd wake up.
Papa, is that
And
you?
so yeah, those would be mine.
Do you need
Yeah.
propane accessories, boy?
That's yeah. We still don't know what dreams are. Like, it's one of the weirdest things we experience in our lives, and we do it every night.
Yeah.
That's so true,
And
man.
no one knows what the fuck that is.
We don't even know like how tenable of a relationship.
I think
we
it's
can
just your
draw.
subconscious coming to life.
Yeah.
It's like half the time it's your imagination, and then half the time it's your subconscious.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like
I think
memories.
That's a good way of putting it.
I think it's
Oh, I'm tying on her. That's backwards.
I think that. So, and I'd love to talk about it more at depth some other time, but I won't take up too much more of your gentlemen's time tonight. But I've had, as I mentioned earlier, lots of experiences with spirits, and the way I perceive that is when we talk about it as, is that your subconscious, is that inside of you, or is that something external, I think is a flawed way of thinking about it. I think English, it's not external or internal. It's either both or something completely separate. it's in you and it's not. It's
Within you or without you.
Yeah, it's not really exactly the right way. It's not the right question. It's not. It's either both or neither. I haven't figured that out. But it's. I think it's a handshake. Like you have this concept of something. Like another time I'll tell you about the time I met Satan. I went to hell and met Satan. Very real experience. He looked exactly how I would fucking imagine him, which means that this is in my head. But also, I think there's this thing that's collaborating with my idea of it. It's a handshake. And that's like, I think every time I've interacted with something, it takes something out of me to keep this connection. So I have trouble, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I have trouble believing that these things will linger and stay with you. Because it's always like, I have to work to make this connection happen. So I think it's both. It's something you're imagining and like your mind working on it, and also something external collaborating with that.
For sure, I don't think you can ever draw a one-size-fits-all answer. Because I think like certain dreams are just kind of like random connections trying to be kind of paved over and like understood by your mind. But others, when you analyze them, you're like, I think there actually is like a deeper meaning. But I've had dreams where I'm like, okay, dog, I think this is just my brain basically just like fucking playing Charlie Brown on me, like taking this and then just uprooting it like directly up. I don't think there's like a direct you can create the meaning, but I don't think there's
it's
substantial
like
meaning.
Like I have met Satan, red
Did
guy.
he look like Mitch McConnell?
He looked like Tim Curry in Legend.
I was thinking like a cow.
Holy shit.
Exactly.
That's kind of scary.
Exactly like that. I met him as real as I'm having this conversation with you guys.
What did he say? Like, what was the...
Have I never told you this?
No. We can talk about it later if you want to.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. But...
So what's your favorite Radiohead album?
Definitely In Rainbows. Because Satan is gay.
Hey, dude.
The truth comes out.
Hey, if God's omniscient,
The truth
then,
comes out.
hey,
Nice.
I mean,
Oh.
Satan's got all the colors.
But I have met Satan. I don't believe in him. So I don't know where to put that. But anyway, I thank you guys so much for being here. This has been one of my favorite interviews I've done. This is
Same.
fucking awesome,
Yeah,
man.
really good.
If anyone's
Yeah.
still listening,
Yes.
you're crazy as fuck.
Yeah. Don't worry, no
Everyone's
one's listening.
listening.
But plug
Thank you.
anyway.
Yo, you're crazy as fuck, but someone loves you, and if you take a second, man, you'll realize that.
That someone is me.
All right,
Yeah.
listen. Thank y'all for listening. We are Spirit Ritual. Listen to our shit on Spotify. We
Tell
love
it
you.
to the
Apple
camera.
Music,
This is just the mic. Tell
Deezer,
it to the
YouTube
camera.
Topic, Google
We
Play,
love you.
I will put links
iTunes,
to your shit.
We got a link tree. Like
Yes.
that shit.
Send me your link tree.
Listen
Yeah.
to that shit.
It's in our
Love
bio.
that shit.
And catch them
It's in our
at
bio.
East Room
Rhapsody.
October
on-
27th.
on October 27th.
Yes.
Then you got some house shows.
Yeah.
November 4th.
Yeah.
Hip hop shit. November 11th is.
A bunch of like folk and rock and indie stuff.
You heard it here first.
And Sydney Mays. Also
Amazing
some shows coming
guy.
up. November
October
8th. November 8th
November
at Underdog.
Yep.
November 10th at Springwater. Alice, we'll see you next week.
See you, Alex.
It's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
You-